All right, let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safeway Liquid Beer of the Week podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello. It's Matt Static, AM Radio. It's the Cool Bed Red Hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macromella intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack a 6 o'clock and lager with some sirloin bites.
.604 on a game day. The Edmonton Oilers are on the road, and it's game day. They get the Nashville Predators. What's up, Nasties? Thank you very much for being here today. It is the Nielson Show. We very much appreciate it. I'm just Surveyor Brett. Anytime I get a DM early in the morning, it's a Surveyor Brett like memory from something that happened on the show. This is a big one. I did not know that he had it in his system.
Please don't bring it up.
I did not know he had it in the files. On this day, back in 2022, when we were still employed by TSN 1260, and that station still existed, Jeff Walker saves the Nielsen Show when Lieutenant Eric got food poisoning. Do you remember this day?
I cannot forget it.
I remember you and your wife were both taken down by this, weren't they?
I will not name the establishment, but the Grim Reaper was at my door. And then I had it twice. I thought I was better, and then I tried to eat something again, and I got double whammy.
I remember this.
Lost like 10,000 pounds.
How long were you off for?
Like a week and a half.
Yeah, that's insane.
I was done.
Holy smokes. And Jeff Walker saved the show, apparently. The experience saved the show. What a run. Anyway, what a memory.
What a terrible memory.
Surveyor Brett, the what do we call Brett? What's the historian?
Historian, yes.
What's a fancier word for historian?
The bookkeeper.
I don't know, there's got to be the keeper of the timeline. What's the one guy from the Marvel show? He was like oversaw the timeline. You remember this, Trevor? He oversaw the timeline. The timekeeper. I don't know.
Chronicler.
Archivist. The archivist.
Historiographer.
Is archivist a thing?
Sure.
I like that. The Edmonton Sports Talk archivist.
Antiquarian.
What's that mean? What's an antiquarian?
Historian.
Wow, cool.
A scribe.
The antiquarian. Anyway, that's a good one. VR Montenegro says the lore keeper, chronologist, Zedmo. I think archivist is probably the easiest thing to say. Yeah. Penner's Pancakes is in the chat this morning saying, guys, the Yesa Puljujarvi song. I guess we could get to it.
Why not?
I mean, I don't know. He just looks like he has way more confidence with the puck than he did when he was here. I don't know if it's like his hips are working fully and what ended up happening. I was going to use it for an extra hot take, but I'll just give it to you now.
Come on.
I have so many hot takes today that I don't even need this one. But one of them was going to be Yesa Puljujarvi just needed a true leader to unlock his potential. Well, But no, it's what a night for the Penguins. We'll get to all of it. We got a jam-packed show for you today. Where are you going to be tonight?
Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. It's Thursday, and you know what that means. Smoked brisket cheesesteak on special. You got the Broncos and Saints. We got the wheel all jazzed up as well, ready to go for our player prop. And, Oilers and Preds on as well. That's the best part about now, the TV wrap. World Series, Oilers game, Thursday Night Football. Just need a little NBA to complete the foursome, right?
Well, I mean, don't disrespect the preseason, and you can have it. You can have it.
May we please?
Look, man, EST has taken over the world because Lieutenant Eric will be on location tonight.
Yep.
And Tom Gazzola will be on location tonight.
We got all the city covered.
We
White
got everything
Avenue,
covered.
Fort Road. What else do you need?
LTE, Century Casino, Sports Bar and Lounge, Fort Road, Tommy Gazzola, Oil Stream, GCL Diesel, pre and post game tonight coming at you from Hudson's on White. And then right away, Saturday afternoon for the next game, he'll be at West Edmonton Mall. So nice little day, pop by West Edmonton Mall, do some shopping, go buy some shoes.
Little happy hour.
Get some little pretzels, and then go in and see Tommy Gazzola at Hudson's.
Popeye, get him a Guinness. The old boy.
Why not?
What?
Get the old boy a Guinness.
Get the old boy a Guinness.
Shall we get the old boy a Guinness? Double dip tonight on location. Tom Gazzola, live on location. Hudson's on White. He's back in his element.
Oh, yeah.
And then Lieutenant Eric on location. So you got the hockey, you got the football. Swing on by and see the crew. Strummy's in it says, guys, enough of the NBA talk already. I know.
Finally.
Sorry, I shouldn't have brought that up. I mean, but what if we played this? That's our Kawhi
God, I love that.
NBA theme remix. Yeah. If we play that, we can talk NBA.
Sure.
If we don't play that, what are we doing? We can't talk NBA. I like the day when you start to talk NBA. I go, wait a second. You're talking NBA right now?
Is that?
I am.
Is
Okay.
that NBA talk I hear down the
Got it. Boom. Let's hit it. 780-218-9999 is where you can slide on in. Joe Belineski says, what about for Surveyor Brett, the Watcher? I think the Watcher was the line I was looking for from the Marvel universe. Speaking of different comic book universes, DCU has an absolute star on their hands right now.
You're high on this one.
The Penguin, man. Very good show. Colin Farrell is incredible as the Penguin, as Oz, as they call him. The female lead alongside him, and I don't have her name in front of me right now, but she is phenomenal. I just watched episode 4 of The Penguin, and episode 4 of The Penguin might have been the best television episode I've watched in a few years. That's how good it was. Yeah.
And you've seen The Bear.
I've seen the Bear. And I don't mind the
This
Bear.
guy gets around here.
But it does not compare to episode 4 of The Penguin. Very good show. If you've not yet checked it out, you're going to want to do that. We got a jam-packed program for you today. Like I'm talking, this thing is slam. We got great guests. We got great content. Look at this. Look at this. This one is in and says, good morning, guys. I need advice. First time they've ever texted in. This week, I've not been able to listen to your show. I usually stream it on my phone on my way to work, but for whatever reason, the listen live function does not load. It just sits there and spins. Is this a problem on my end or your end? All my other streaming works. You know what? It's weird because we've had like one person a day for the last 2 days. And yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before, was one of our highest like stream start days ever. So it's like just a one-off right now. If you've been streaming it from the website, maybe try on TuneIn or iHeart, man. That might be what you can look at.
Bad day for I wanted to take vacation, eh?
Yeah. Well, luckily it's just
Get him back
like,
in.
Yesterday it was Surveyor Brett briefly. Like I don't know. It's not the one day where everything kind of went down. But
Let's go, Maddie.
yeah, I'm curious where this guy's streaming on. I'm going to reply and try to get to the bottom of this. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. Red says, guys, my listen live won't work on the website either. Well, maybe it's just a website thing. I don't know. I mean, it might just be for a few of you. Because, streaming numbers were very good the last few days. So there definitely wasn't a, cross the platform issue, I don't think. The Nielsen Show is brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. As they like to say, drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. Go see Daniel and his family-friendly, fantasy fun team at South Fort Chef. Tell them EST sent you, and you'll get an additional $1,000 credit on your trade-in vehicle, and they will not be beaten by any price. Find the best deal you can possibly get in town. Take it out to the fort, like a 10-minute drive. You go out there, you save even more bucks. It's terrific. Visit their website, www.southfortchev.com. Tube Sock says, guys, when I first opened up iHeart, I was told I could not listen in this country. Try it again, and I'm listening. We'll circle back around. Yeah. What was the server thing? It was what did he call it? The P4 server or something like that. People are saying, man, how come people haven't told us this Listen Live hasn't worked for a few weeks? I'll take a look. Construction Curtis says, guys, iHeart stream loaded perfectly today. Well, that's good to know. I'll look
Chalk it up for the good guys.
Are
there.
You guys talking web stream is in like on the website? Because that might be a little bit different. So we can definitely check into that for you. All right, 780-218-9999 is where you can get in this morning. Here's the show for you. We got your morning announcements coming up. We're going to dive into that Hurts at 6:30 today. The Fan Zone. For fans first. We're going to talk about dynamic duos in NHL history. And we're going to, Malkin and Crosby, great night for them last night. Milestone night. Sidney Crosby at 1,600 points. He sets up Malkin's 500th career goal. Then Sid the Kid buries the overtime winner, the classic far post knee drop, puts it in, killed the parlay that we were working on last night. Mind you, the Ducks ended up winning in overtime against Utah, so I guess it didn't matter. But we're going to discuss all-time duos. And there's obviously a McDavid and Draisaitl conversation, but they lack desperately what all the other all-time duo greats have. And I don't know if you can put them in that conversation until they win one. That's
you don't get that Jersey City poster with the cityscape, right? Until you've kind of captured
Not
the
without
cup.
a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to win a Stanley Cup. So we're going to get into that on the Fan Zone today. We'll go there around 6:45. Luke Gazdic is going to be by. He will join us for Pro Am Sports just after 7. He's with us every second Thursday. Last week he was with Reid Wilkins. This week he's with us. When he's not with us, we've filled that spot with filthy Bruce Boudreau.
Does Bruce now join the Reid Wilkins show?
No, Bruce.
That would be a trip.
We can only get 2 days a month from Bruce. But wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, those two worlds colliding.
That'd be great. Anyway, Gaz will join us just after 7 o'clock today. We'll get to our new segment, Fired Up. For Napoleon Grills. We'll go there. We've got actually tickets courtesy Ryan over at Gemco, who's a part of that deal, to the Oilers and Hurricanes game. So we're going to give those away today as we work our way through the show as well. Fired Up. What a pleasant surprise for me last night. This is what I'm fired up about this morning. This could be a life changer for the Nielson family. Could possibly be a life changer for the Nielson family. So we're going to get to that as we work our way through the show today as well. We will spin the wheel. You've already got this wheel ready to go, eh?
Yeah.
The anytime touchdown score wheel.
It's fair.
It's okay.
It's yeah.
Alvin Kamara at the top of the list at -110.
Yeah.
Jamal Williams, bottom list, +550. Ooh, who do I see here? Foster Moreau.
Aha.
Can you imagine if the wheel was to spin Foster Moreau again and we hit it?
Have to try to get him on the show.
That would have to be the highlight of Foster Moreau's career.
I'd say so.
It would just...
Mr. Prime Time, if you will.
That would be his new name. That would be his new name. Anyway, we get a chance to run it back with Foster Moreau today. The EST Flyaway to Los Angeles coming up. We'll give you the keyword around 7:25 today, presented by 780. This is going to be a nice trip. December 26th to December 30th. NBA, NHL, NFL action. You're going to love it. I got beef just after 7:30 today. Trev's got a bit of a hilarious beef. We'll get to that around 7:30. I got a beef. You must have a beef.
Yeah,
we have lots of beefs for Acme Meats. I got a beef with Corey the Butcher. He's 48 years old. He looks phenomenal. He's in great shape. The beard is tight. Like he
must swim.
He must swim. More on that with Fired Up. How about this? Very excited to land this big fish. Reid Wilkins will join us at 7:45 today. He is the star of the smash hit Reid Wilkins show, which I don't know if you guys were listening yesterday or if you were watching or whatever, but holy smokes, how good was the interview with the Oilers fan Summer, who was behind the penalty box giving the double bird to the Philadelphia Flyers. She was on their show yesterday, so I had a quick nap. It was a little bit of a longer nap, actually. It was a good nap yesterday. So I get up, and I went upstairs, and Tammy's always got the YouTube channel running. And Tam had taken the Muzz to dance, and Marshall was outside playing volleyball by himself. I eventually went on. I was running back and forth
Volleyball,
around the net. He's trying. I mean,
setting, bumping, and spiking.
the
all
kid's a
along,
freak. The kid's a freak. What can I say? So, but I'm sitting there, and they're like, "All right, if we hit 100 thumbs up, we'll have Summer on." I was like, who's Summer? What is this? And I didn't even know about the double bird thing until I saw them play the video, and then she was on, and she was fired up. There's another thing we go for fired up. She brought a ton of energy. 18-year-old college student.
Love it.
Goes to the Oilers game, sits behind the penalty box and dropping a double bird on the Philadelphia Flyers. Living her best life. Anyway, Reid Wilkins will join us. We'll talk about that. We'll get his thoughts on this 2-game trip as well. Reid will be by just before 8 o'clock. Third hour, also, you guessed, jam-packed, kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's. 3 questions too many for Park Mazda. The GCL Diesel Orange and Blue Breakfast. Greg Wyshynski, who couldn't join us yesterday, will join us today. And then we've got Scalding Hot Takes. Lieutenant Eric is the defending champion. And then we'll have the wrap for William Huff, Scalding Hot Takes, of course, for Claiborne Services. If you're looking for work, www.claiborneservices.com. They will hook you up with a job that pays very well. Let's get your morning announcements. For Loomis, who's in the chat, that says, I'm fired up. I'm sure I said maybe a game changer for the Nielson family. I am not pregnant. Wouldn't that be something? I might look at times, but I am not pregnant. I promise you.
Yeah. We'll also confirm.
No, I'm not pregnant.
You're not. I know the TV ads.
Technically impossible, but you think a guy with a fresh haircut like this would be pregnant?
Look at that.
What do you think of this?
Now talk to us about this.
Well,
yesterday,
I went
show ends.
I went and got a hair. I'm going to go hat free the rest of the day. I feel confident enough about it.
As you should. Yeah.
Okay.
What is this, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse?
I could definitely go to Ruth's Chris now.
No problem.
That's what I walked in. I walked into my guy yesterday. I said, "Give me the Ruth's Chris," and he's like, "Oh, a Ruth's Chris." I said, "Yes, a Ruth's Chris, please." So this guy yesterday, I usually go to the Mr. Barber down by Wayne Sports Cards. Wayne, I don't know if Wayne's watching right now. Wayne, I'm going to need you to open up just a little bit earlier. Because it'd be nice to go get that haircut like 9:30, then hit up Wayne's at 10. It doesn't open till 11.
That's a good
Would
point.
have been real convenient. Because I could have hit the Italian Center shop, could have gone into BP's, had a beer, could have hit the whole cycle. Probably would have got one of those Fire Zone subs too. They're pretty good. Anyway, I go in. This guy that cut my hair yesterday was wearing like a vest. I thought it was Tupac for a second. Like he was wearing a vest that had like his comb.
Did he have
and
scissors
the other
in
comb
the really?
and the
Oh my
scissors,
goodness!
And he had his like clippers in there. And when I went in there, I instantly thought, I was like, I want that guy. Like there's 3 guys working, but it's like I want that guy.
Did he call you boss?
No, boss.
Okay.
But he did ask me about Bronny. Like we started talking about sports, and he's straight up. He goes, "You think Bronny's ready?" And I said, "How do you know? I didn't know by cutting my hair you can read my mind." But how did you know I wanted to sit down? Oops, sorry. Wait a second. That's what I did to him yesterday when he started talking about it. I said, "Oh, are you going to talk about NBA?" I pulled up my phone. I hit it.
You did it a cappella.
Yeah. No. But yeah, no, I've never been to a place where I had a guy that had like the hair. It looks like Edward Scissorhands, for goodness sakes. It was just like boom, 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 boom. And a great haircut. I was in and out of there in like 18 minutes.
But you could have sat
forever. We
forever.
talked sports the whole time.
You could have sat forever, let's be honest. A little
I-
scalp massage too? Did he give you a little...
You know when they leave, they're like, they try to sell you on like products and stuff. He goes, "Can I help you with anything?" I said, "Get one of those vests." I sit on this show, have a vest that have my phone right here, the mouse right here.
Yeah.
It would be
Hot take mitt.
I might start wearing one of those what's it called? A camelback?
A camelback.
Camelbacks? Whatever. I'll wear one and then I won't have to hold this all the time. Just have a little hose right here. It's very convenient to attach things to your body. Just ask parents with babies.
So in terms of haircuts, though, I mean, is this a new style? This is kind of you just say, hey, take a little more off the sides. You're happy with it, but
I told them, I said, "Look, man, I go 3 on the sides and then just take like an inch and a bit off the top. And I usually just push it over.
Because you go here all the time. Is he your regular guy, though?
No, but I've had some good experiences in there.
It's good staff. Yeah.
Now, Hustler did say yesterday on the Lock Shop, he thinks it's the best haircut I ever had in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he knows.
He's a guy who knows high and tight. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of you have been watching. Some of you have known us for like a decade and a half. Is this the best haircut I ever had in my life? I don't know.
I prefer the afro. but this will do.
Yeah, that's a style, right?
Yeah,
He did say yesterday, though, he goes,
it's a vibe.
He goes, you got like this awesome, natural, like wavy hair. I said, my man. And then I said to him, my dad is 65 now, and he still has like a dark head of hair. And so then this guy says to me, he goes, oh, yeah, this isn't going anywhere.
This isn't going anywhere.
Woo! This guy, I love this guy.
You wake up like this.
So how about this? I tipped him 30%. He sucked me in.
Yeah,
Mission accomplished.
The brawny talk.
Yeah. I usually do 20% on the haircut.
Sure.
You mentioned brawny without even knowing I'm a LeBron guy. 30%. It was pretty good. Anyway, feeling pretty good today. Got that new haircut confidence, and I didn't want to shower yesterday because I love the smell of a new haircut. You know, whatever they do there, the spray, it smells real nice, right? So, anyway,
real pretty boy.
I'm feeling it. This must be what Gazzola feels like every day of his life.
When he goes see Chantal.
Yeah, exactly. The same type of thing.
Yeah.
That's what, I didn't get the guy's name yesterday, but I called him Chantal. Excuse me, man. Can I call you Chantal? He's like, yeah, sure, that's fine. All right, your morning announcers. The Oilers get the Nashville Predators tonight. Morning announcers for 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's Best Rock, Yukon and McCord. Probably about 18 months away from working with us. And then Jess Jackson on the afternoons, and she can come work with us whenever she wants. Oilers and Preds tonight. We know that here's the history of the Oilers and the Preds.
Ooh.
Okay. The Oilers won last year's season series 2-1, outscoring the Preds 12-7. Dating back to the 18-19 campaign, the Oilers have earned at least a point in 13 of their last 14 games against the Preds, going 11-1-2, outscoring them 61-34 in the process. Straight up ownership here. 5-0-2 in their last 7 visits to the Bridgestone Arena, outscoring them more than 2-1, 34 goals for, 16 against. Connor McDavid has recorded at least a point in 13 straight games versus Nashville, including 10 multi-point efforts, 8 goals and 25 assists for 33 points in his last 13 games against the Nashville Predators. We always talk about Draisaitl. Oh, yeah. And he does. I'll get to those numbers. But McDavid spanks the Preds too. Draisaitl has 5 3-point or more games over his last 7 versus Nashville. 20 points in his last 7 games against the Preds. His 25 career goals versus Nashville is the most he has against any one opponent. And they're not even in division, so you wouldn't play them as often. And he's recorded at least a point. Well, that's McDavid's recorded a point in 18 of 22. Leon has 9 multi-goal games versus Nashville. 2 goals 7 times, 3 goals 1 time, and 4 goals 1 time. So McDavid and Draisaitl absolutely own Roman Josi and UC Saros and the Nashville Predators.
Well, you think that's good? Stuart Skinner's numbers against Nashville. You ready for this?
I don't even have them. Give them to me.
You ready for this? 1-0-0. Goals against average of 1. Save percentage, 966.
Wow. Those might be the best numbers he has against anybody else.
Undefeated.
Now, was that win the night we launched it? Oh, was that win our client party last year here in the office?
Cannot confirm.
They beat Nashville.
That was the one.
Like 6-1 during the client party.
That was a fun mixer.
Last year, yeah, that was when the broccoli got opened. And I bought broccoli and it smelled bad. Trev, I'm pretty sure that was you were here then with us.
Yeah.
That was the game.
That must have been it, eh?
Was that a Skinner start or was it somebody else start?
It was Campbell. I think Campbell was there.
Yeah,
was that Campbell?
Days, hey?
Yeah, because I remember he made like 2 good saves when we were talking about it on the post-game show. But that was my first pre and post as well.
No way.
Yeah.
A monumental moment
Kind of
there.
crazy. Yep.
That was
I
the first time
remember.
you did pre and
Yeah.
post?
Yep. Gager brought the leather.
He did.
I was just freaking out over here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. The broccoli. It was so awkward talking to people and try to not
Oh, it stunk.
just like everyone's just not bringing up that it smelled like just crap. We're like, yeah, so how are you doing? Ooh.
I would never, ever, ever bring broccoli to anything, but it's like, man, we got chips, we got all these snacks, we got food dropped off. We should have something somewhat healthy. And got that broccoli, opened it up, and it had clearly gone bad.
Well, there's a Campbell broccoli joke in there somewhere. I'm sure somebody must have made along the way.
That's true. Loomis says, yes, that was a Campbell game, and it was his only good game.
I remember it now, yes.
All right, well, there it is. You can text us anytime. Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. 22 locations across 4 provinces. Absolutely wonderful partners with us at Paris Jewelers, and they have their flexible financing options, including do not pay for 1 year on your jewelry. Shop in store or online at www.parisjewelers.com. I got my wife an anklet from there, and when she first got it, she was a little hesitant. Now I notice it's on all the time.
She just can't shake it.
All she does is wear this anklet. Paris Jewelers strikes again.
And it helps you know where she is at all times, right?
Well, yeah, because I put a tracker
chip
on it.
in it, yes.
I put a tracker on
Yes.
it, so now I know where she
Wow,
is.
that thing's honking. It's just
She doesn't have to put a
big old
tracker on me
diamond.
because she knows I'm either here in a drive-thru or at home. That's it. A&W text of the day. One of your text messages will win the A&W text of the day. We'll dive into the inbox. We haven't got into it too much today. It's been a busy start to the show. But what's better than one A&W Mama Burger made perfectly because that's how they make them? How about 2? 2 Mama Burgers for only $9.99. You can enjoy 2 of these delicious, mouth-watering Mama Burgers for only $9.99 at participating A&W restaurants in Edmonton, St. Albert, Sherwood Park, Devon. What a deal! And to make it even more convenient for you, most A&W drive-thrus are open 24 hours. Plus, today's a game day. Today's a game day. Road or away, they've got a fantastic deal for you. Mama Burger and fries, $5. Only on game day for the orange and blue. Mama Burger and fries, $5. You know what you say after that? In this economy?
That's
That's what you say.
you let that sink in for a second. That's a hell of a deal.
I like eating in at the A&W up on 111th over here. They've got that great little
kitchen.
side kitchen area, and they've got the unlimited seasoning salt. Yeah. So you just load it up. It's like you're at a Red
but
Robin's.
It's chained up though, right? Like just because you know the people
You
have
can't
tried.
steal it. Yeah.
You know that's for a reason.
It's exactly what I would do.
Well,
if I had a big thing of seasoning, something like that, I would wear one of those belt chains that that the skateboarders used to put their wallets on.
well, you could put in your vest.
Yeah,
Imagine that.
if I had that vest.
Do we have any seasoning salt?
Actually, I do. Right in the vest. Greg is in and says, Dustin was in my dreams last night. For some reason, he was in Lacombe and requested to do the show live from my place. One day, my dreams will come true. Pound the thumbs up. Yeah, pound the thumbs up. I'll tell you right now, if we ever get to 2,000 likes on a show, we will go to Lacombe and do the show from Greg's house.
Wow.
If we ever get to 2,000, I think our record's like, 1,200 during the playoffs last year, 1,300. If we ever got to 2,000 thumbs up on one show, we would come out to Lacombe and we would do the show from Greg's house.
Well, now.
Looks like there's something on the line for Greg now, isn't there?
And the town of Lacombe.
And the town of
Or
Lacombe.
city, shall I say.
Is it a city?
I don't know. Just give them credit where
I don't think
credit's
it
due,
would.
right?
I don't think Lacombe would be a
Let-
city.
let's just
but a very
talk 'em
strong
up, yeah,
and
yeah.
prosperous town.
It's got to be over 2,000.
Oh, definitely.
So by that metric, we should get the thumbs. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Get canvassing, Greg.
If the entire city of Lacombe hammers the thumbs
beat
up,
the pavement. Get door knocking.
Yeah.
I mean, you can.
I guess that is a possibility. All right, on the way, still in the 6 o'clock hour. If you need a conch, let us know. I haven't even really dove into the inbox just yet, but I know there's a bunch sitting over there, so we'll definitely get to. We'll get to those. Nacho Man says, guys, I'd drop a 30% tip on that A&W deal. Yeah, you would.
There
Why
you go.
not? I
Yeah.
mean, when you get good deals,
Don't
you
have to
tip
bring a
more.
brownie.
It's as simple as that. Bob Loblaw in Lloyd says, guys, can you use your influence to get Lloyd A&Ws on these specials? Very disappointing getting the cravings and not having the specials here. Hey, man.
Yeah.
We can't do that because it's in that weird limbo area.
They don't even take my coupons.
Saskatchewan, Edmonton, or Alberta, whatever. It's got to be really annoying. All right, that hurts, and the fan zone coming up. The question for the fan zone today, around 6:45, where do Crosby and Malkin rank among the greatest duos of all time? And can I make a legitimate case that they're number one? I'll try. I technically don't even really believe it. But there's one
You'll go digging.
there's one thing that they have that none of the other great duos have. And we'll dive into that coming up here around 6:45. Where do you rank them on the all-time list of duos?
Higher than Matthews Marner? I'm just saying.
You are hilarious.
Hey.
Man, we are full of funny jokes.
Yeah.
A conch for Eric's joke today. Also, that hurts on the way as well for Trent and the team over at James H. Brown.
That was a good laugh, actually.
Was it?
It was a very earnest, but not believing it either.
Totally don't. All right, let's get to an update for Nisku Glass. If Ohtani's home run last night smashed through your window, good news, you can get it fixed at Nisku Glass. Eric's got more on that.
Evgeny Malkin scored his 500th goal. Sidney Crosby reaching 1,600 points, scoring the overtime winner. Pens take it 6-5 over the Sabres. Leafs knocking off the Kings 6-2. Austin Matthews notching his first of the campaign. The Avalanche, they remain winless in a 5-3 loss to the Bruins. Colorado now 0-4 to start the season. And Utah falling in overtime 5-4 to the Ducks. The Oilers are on the road for a pair beginning tonight in Nashville against the 0-3 Predators. You can join Tom Gazzola live from Hudson's Own White for the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Coverage starting at 5 o'clock. Oilers and Preds, one of 11 games around the NHL tonight. Join me at the Century Casino Sports Bar Lounge. We'll have the Oilers and Preds as well as Week 7 in the NFL. Broncos visiting the Saints, and your next chance to win some NFL merch. The world-famous smoked brisket cheesesteak on special as well. Major League Baseball playoff action. Dodgers shutting out the Mets from Citi Field 8-zip, taking a 2-1 series lead. Game 4 will go later tonight at 6:08. In the ALCS, the Yankees taking a 2-0 lead to Cleveland today. First pitch, 3:08. Back over to hockey. The Oil Kings host the Saskatoon Blades this evening down at Rogers Place. Oil Kings will then hit the road for a 9-game road trip beginning Sunday in Red Deer. AJHL action saw Lloyd win on the road in Camrose 5-2 and Bonnyville shut out Fort Mac 1-zip. Action resumes tomorrow with 3 games. Sports update brought to you by Nisku Glass. Nisku Glass is growing and now hiring. If you're a nasty that wants to work with other nasties and can cut glass and replace windshields, then we want to hear from you. Email your resume to info@niskuglass.ca or stop by our shop to apply today.
I love Jesse. He's always having fun.
Jesse was picked 4th. Yeah, we didn't think he'd be there at the time. Now we've watched him play, we know he'll be just fine. Jesse's got himself some skills, should be on McDavid's line. And Aikens would have loved his eyes. And McClellan loves that body, you just know it. And now he's holding both his arms way, way up high. No doubt about it, that was Jesse's goal. Nobody but Jesse's goal. Let's start planning the parade. The Oilers finally decided to make some change. You know I feel so dirty when it starts playing cute. We complain about the Hall trade, but the point is probably moot. And Aikens would have loved his eyes. And McClellan loves that body, you just know it. And now he's holding both his arms way, way up high. No doubt about it, that was Jesse's goal. Nobody but Jesse's goal. How did he learn to finish like that? That's Jesse's goal. Just another Jesse's goal.
Oh, a little Yes Boy RV goal song for you on a Thursday morning. Oilers game day as they get the Nashville Predators tonight, the team that they have had a lot of success against throughout the years.
I can't believe you've never been to Nashville.
I really want to go to Nashville.
Yeah. We have
do.
to bring this up every single time.
I know every time they're there, it's always like, why don't you go to Nashville? Yeah. It's on my list. I've got a couple of things that I have to take care of travel-wise. 1, go see LeBron play in person before he retires. 2, go to Nashville. And then that's it, really. I only have 2 things on the list.
EST, future, some sort of something.
I'll do a staff thing.
Breaky pod.
In Nashville?
Yeah,
God,
write it off.
Something.
Business expense.
Oh, totally write it off.
Yeah,
That'd
write
be
it
cool.
off.
Yeah. It's Nielson Show live with you this morning on YouTube, on TuneIn and iHeart, and at edmontonsportstalk.com. Some people are saying, for those of you who've had issues with the live stream lately, like on edmontonsportstalk.com, if you just like close the window and reopen it, or like clear your
Clear your cache.
Clear your cache.
Get the cache out of here.
Clear the cache, and then maybe that'll help as well.
Worth a shot.
I didn't realize a few folks were still having issues, so I'll look into it a little bit today. But yeah,
I think we have to pull Maddie back from vacation. That's kind of what.
That's it. Sorry,
I mean,
Matt. I know you're just basically hanging out at home, but we're gonna need you to work on this. All right, Nielsen Show brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Check them out, www.southfortchev.com. We're coming at you today from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio. Bone-in wings, boneless wings. It doesn't matter. They got all types of wings at Popeyes, and you're gonna love the Cajun fries they got on the side.
Don't even need a seasoning salt shaker.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do it for you, basically.
Do it for you. Yeah.
Those are
Locked
delicious.
in.
All right, let's get into that hurts this morning for Trent and the team over at James H. Brown. If you've been injured in an accident, look no further. James H. Brown is the place to go. www.jameshbrown.com. They are the heavy hitters of injury law, and they're also the heavy hitters of sweet giveaways on Facebook. They have launched their UFC giveaway right now. Zacticum, where are you at? I would love if Zacticum somehow won the James H. Brown UFC giveaway. VIP ticket package for the UFC event right here in Edmonton. All you have to do is hop over on the James H. Brown Facebook page.
He's got the Bobby Valentine.
You'll find all the details. Zacticum's got the...
Congratulations to, Jim.
That's funny, actually. I do
Yeah,
like
you could
that.
see him doing that.
I could see that. Here's what hurts. You're the New York Mets. You've got the Yankees in your city. The Yankees looks like they're on a path of destruction to the World Series. You get a split from the Dodgers on the road. You come home. The crowd is fired up. They're ready to go. Oh, my God, the Mets are going to take a 2-1 series lead on the Dodgers, and we're going to have a Subway Series, and the upstart underdog Mets are going to take out the Yankees. And then the Dodgers just straight out of Dumb and Dumber punch into their chest, rip their heart out, put it in a doggy bag, and leave with an 8-0 victory, including a bomb from Ohtani. Like just a ridiculous, like middle of the upper deck moonshot. I believe Huss described it on Twitter last night as a nuke. He nuked that
He
thing.
nuked him.
And go watch it. I mean, that's a great way to describe it. I mean, this guy just does things that it's ridiculous. But anyway, does that not hurt
Well, I think
for Mets fans?
the Ohtani home run, I mean, that's just a... I don't know if you saw the grimace that was standing in the stands as well. I mean, there's obviously grimace has been, but somebody had like a paper mache construction paper. It just
A paper mache grimace?
It looked
For an 8-0 loss?
It looked absolutely terrible. I mean, look at this thing. This really sums up. I mean, it's like a blanket. It's just terrible.
Look,
It's that awful announcing guy. But it really sums things up. 8-0, you get shut out. You're at home. The Ohtani home run. You got these dollar store grimaces walking around. It's a vibe, baby. And maybe a truly Mets vibe. Like, it just... yeah.
paper mache grimace.
They had it all, but...
Anyway, we'll have a Mets fan on the show and find out just how much it did hurt. Greg Wyshynski.
He bumped his hit yesterday because of the game, right?
That must have been the reason. He told me that he had something to do with a family doctor's appointment.
Yeah, whatever.
But instead, it was just because he was so nervous about the game. But that has to hurt. Like, you get it as a fan base, watching another fan base. It would be an upset for the Mets to knock off the Dodgers. And you had this momentum coming home, and then you're down 2-0 after 2. Ohtani does his thing. You see the numbers on Ohtani in the playoffs. This is where is this? I liked this last night on Twitter. Here it is. So Ohtani was 0 for 21 in the postseason with bases empty, 7 for 9 with runners on base. That's just, I mean, he's got, as they say in baseball, it's a very popular baseball saying, when Ohtani's got ducks on the pond, he's cashing them in. Unfortunately, I mean, 0 for 21 with bases empty, but 7 for 9 with runners on base so far in the postseason, which is pretty damn impressive. I do have to follow up on the paper mache grimace thing. It's 2024. Who's still doing paper mache? Like I don't even think I've heard, like, my kids aren't doing paper mache at school. I remember doing paper mache in school.
I don't know if it was true. I just, to my eye, my jaundiced eye, it looked like it was kind of like a.
So you don't know if it was paper mache?
No.
Oh.
It actually looked more like a.
That makes
a bunch
makes
of
more
pieces
sense
of
to me.
construction paper just kind of plastered all
Do
over
you
the
remember
guy.
doing paper mache?
Oh yeah.
It was a big deal back then.
It was pretty good. You could make some strong, kind of like the piñatas type.
Because what would you do? You'd blow up a balloon,
and
then you'd put
some
the
plaster, glue
like
plaster,
newspaper with the plaster
get it wet
around it, and then you pop the balloon somehow, and then you just had the paper mache.
Yeah. Fill it with.
We got a younger generation sitting over here on the other side.
Wide-eyed.
YouTube Trev and Ben shadowing YouTube Trev today. Did either of you guys do paper mache in elementary school?
It was grade 3.
You did?
In Miss Kubik's class. And I remember everyone having so much fun, including myself. And I vividly remember Miss Kubik saying, make sure you have to do lines and you have to make sure it's like a pattern. You can't just be placing all of these paper mache like pieces all over, or else your balloon will just collide and fall. And I didn't listen. And so the next day, everyone's like, look at mine. Mine turned out great. Mine's great. I look at mine. It's a deflated mess.
No.
And she's like, everyone's turned out great except for yours. And I'm like, but so that's why I remember paper mache very vividly. And I actually I had help. Everyone, they moved on to the next step, but I actually had to get help from the substitute teacher or the teacher's assistant to help me. She's like, oh no, remember, you don't just throw everything all over. You gotta put lines. And then the next day I came in and it wasn't, all falling apart. So it was good. But yes, I know paper mache. Benny?
They must have dropped it like right after
I
they
was
saw
gonna
Trev's
say.
incident and then they dropped it.
Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, because I don't remember doing any
No paper mache.
No, I don't remember doing any of
Wow.
it. Maybe, I mean, it was a while ago, but
I wonder why they took paper mache out of the curriculum.
Eating the plaster too much, eh?
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. Anyway, if you have any good paper mache stories,
Nacho Man, those paper mache volcanoes, for the science, you pour the vinegar and the baking soda.
yeah, no, that's a good one, guys. It's too dangerous. Kids are drinking the paper mache sauce.
The paper mache sauce.
Yeah, but no, like kids back in our day used to eat the paper mache sauce too, and they were fine. They were fine.
Those new ingredients.
How are you supposed to become an adult if you didn't eat paper mache along the way? All right. Well, that hurts for the blue collar Mets fans
And the paper mache hobbyists.
and all the paper mache people out there. It hurts to see Ohtani and the Dodgers roll into your stadium and destroy you in Game 3.
Maybe the Mets were the worst team in Major League Baseball, as they correctly prophesized earlier on in the season. It's worse than getting that wild card play-in, right? You go, because at least you have a home game here. You scrape and scratch for a wild card, you go in there, you lose, and you're done. But this is like, you get the home jazz, the home juice.
And then that
Grimace
happens.
all over the place.
That's tough.
Haktua,
It hurts.
et cetera, et cetera.
That hurts for James H. Brown. If you've been injured in an accident or a severe paper mache incident, jameshbrown.com. They'll get you the dub.
Trent, I ate too much mache sauce.
Listen, what are you gonna do here, Trent? He'll find a way. He'll find a way to make it work. Big team over there. They'll take care of things. Mikey's in and says, Trev, do you want to make a paper mache project right now? We should do a paper mache day here with all of us. All 10 of us have to make a
It's
paper
been
mache
years.
thing.
I'd
Next
love
meeting.
to.
I don't even know. What was the mix? How did you mix that? What was the mix back then? It had to have been something to do with glue. How was it so sticky? Are you looking at paper mache mix?
Sure.
Let's see what it
It
is.
gets like rock hard.
Ingredients.
Well, that's the thing. There has to be.
Is it like cement?
What
I always
made-
thought it was cement.
Yeah,
when I
what
was a
made
kid.
it dry hard like that?
paper,
Like,
plain flour, and water.
paper, what? Paper, what?
Plain flour and water.
Are you
It was
kidding me?
just flour and water that we were dipping
And then it says in
newspapers
brackets or PVA glue. If you don't have newspaper in hand, you can substitute with toilet paper, tissue paper, cardboard. Yeah, flour, water.
That's it?
No way. I refuse to believe that's a recipe for paper mache.
Because was it
Yeah.
not like dark gray?
Yeah, and it was clumpy.
Yeah.
But how would just water and flour become super sticky?
I have a 4-part recipe here. Mix 1 part flour, 2 parts water. Stir until lumps are gone and mix is thin. Add more flour, water if mix is too thick. Store in refrigerator. So maybe it's in the fridge where that's where the magic
thickens
happens.
up and gets sticky.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense then, I guess.
Science.
Well, we can budget that. I mean,
I could definitely do that. We do paper mache this afternoon. I just put down for something I learned today. What I learned.
there you go. Bob
Paper.
Loblaw and Lloyd, next odd couple challenge.
Yeah.
The best paper mache.
I like that.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, your redemption story.
Redemption, yeah.
A redemption arc for you two, Trev.
Underdog again.
He's 2-0. He beat Zach to come in rock, paper, scissors, and he beat him on. Hey, you could bring that video up. Do you have that video? Bring it up. We'll mix it. I know we got a jam-packed show, but let's get to that video today. They did a thumb war. Zach and Trev. If you haven't seen it, it's on our YouTube channel, but we'll play it on the show here.
Wrestling
today.
is Zach's thing. He must that's his discipline.
Oh, he's. I'm not sure we found Zach's thing just yet. Well, he's been the heavy favorite in both of the first events. Maybe I'm just awful at setting the lines.
I think
but
there
his
might be
confidence really wins me over before these events. Anyway, we'll get to that. Let's dive into the fan zone right now, though. For fansfirst.ca. Oilers on the road, then they return home. If you want to get those tickets, no better place to do it than at Fans First. By fans, for fans, no fees. One more time, let me lay this out for you. By fans, for fans, no fees. Get your tickets all season long for the Oilers at www.fansfirst.ca. So, what a night. Great players always have amazing things aligned for them, right? It's just how it works. So, Sidney Crosby's 500th goal was assisted a couple years ago by Malkin. Malkin's 500th goal last night was set up by Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby got his 1600th point last night.
Jesse Puljujarvi scored.
Jesse Puljujarvi scores one of the key goals in the game, clearly.
Yeah, tied it up.
And then yada, yada, yada. The Penguins win in overtime. Wait for it. On a Sidney Crosby winner. Side of the net, knee drop, boom, puts it in. And just a phenomenal night.
Malkin's secondary assist on that one, by the way.
Of course.
Again.
Of course. This is what happens with these guys. So my question for you today is, where do Crosby and Malkin rank on the all-time duos, 1-2 punches in NHL history? If they're not number 3, I think you're disrespecting them. The way that I saw a lot of people roll it out last night, Gretzky, Curry, Mario, and Jaromir Jagr. I mean, those are the other 2 big ones. Okay, now I did say, could you make a case that the legacy of this duo may be the greatest of all time? And McDavid and Draisaitl, I had a couple people last night who were like, Dusty, they don't even match up to McDavid and Draisaitl. I'm sorry, they do. They've won all the individual awards that McDavid and Draisaitl have won, and they've won 3 Stanley Cups. They each have a Conn Smythe. If McDavid and Draisaitl don't deliver a Stanley Cup championship, I will never put them on the same path of the duo of Malkin and Crosby. They've got 3 cups. They've each got the Conn Smythe. They've each won everything. Here's the one thing that Crosby and Malkin have that Gretzky and Curry didn't have, that Mario and Jagr didn't have, that Gretzky and Messier, if you want to look at that as a 1-2 punch, didn't have. These guys have played for 19 years together. This is start to finish, and McDavid and Draisaitl kind of trending towards doing the same thing. If you are a believer that McDavid's going to sign because Draisaitl signed, they have a chance to do the whole 20-year thing. But Crosby and Malkin have been together for 19 years. Next year will be year 20. Mario and Jagr, how many years did we get them together? Like in their prime? 4. Mario got sick. He came back. And then obviously Curry and Gretzky, that was broken up in the late 80s. These guys have been doing it for 19 years, which if you believe in any way that longevity of a duo means anything, I mean, nobody can come close to what Crosby and Malkin have done over a 2-decade stretch, which is pretty damn impressive. So I'm not going to I still think Gretzky and Curry are the best 1-2 punch ever. But I mean, I got time for the conversation. I honestly believe that, now that, Makar and McKinnon and McDavid and Matthews and all these guys have come along, I feel like it's still right in front of us, but we don't realize that Crosby and Malkin are 2 of the all-time greats, and they've been together for 20 years. Like, it's
Time flies when you're living it.
Well,
I think.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're viewing it in real time. You look back to greats of the past, too, and you can make cases for a lot of duos. But when you're actually living it in your prime of your life, it goes by quick, and you don't, and then it's gone. This is what it feels like. We're living it.
In professional sports. Anywhere in professional sports. Name another duo that played together for 19 years and won everything. I'm pretty sure it hasn't happened. Like, it's incredible. 19 years. Crosby still put up 90 points last year. Malkin is right among the league leaders again this year. It's very, very impressive. So, yeah, on the fan zone today, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, or hit us up over in the nasty chat as well. Where do Crosby and Malkin rank on the all-time list? This is Gretzky and Messier, then Mario and Jágr. How many years were, like, let me just bring up Mario and Jágr, because, I mean...
Esposito and Orr, 2 cups.
How many years did they play together? 9? Like, Malkin and Crosby played together twice as long. Like,
well, if we're going longevity, there's lots of metrics you can measure. 5 Stanley Cups for Maurice and Henri Richard.
Yeah, I mean, that's just such a different era.
I know, but
I don't necessarily.
Ted Lindsay, Gordie Howe. Bossy Trache, 4 cups.
Let's see here. We get about 8 years of Mario and Jágr together.
Mario and Jágr,
Like in
2
their
cups,
prime.
2 hearts. 90-91 to 96-97, and then again in 2000-2001.
Okay, so yeah.
But is it better doing it in like
years.
a crunched time too? Maybe.
Well, but Crosby and Malkin had those years, those phenomenal years, but are still going. Like,
you're looking at the longevity.
I think as a duo, Crosby Malkin in the overall bigger scheme of things are kind of flying under the radar a little bit. Might sound weird to say that today after the way they're celebrated last night. Malkin scored his 500th goal. The entire team came onto the ice. It was a big deal, but
7 years for Lemieux and Jágr, and you're talking 19. Say 19. That again, 19. That's quite a 19. But again, when you're living in real time, that just doesn't seem.
No.
When we look back, it's going to be something else. But.
All right, Jason says, guys, do you think in 10 years we'll be asking this about McDavid and Draisaitl? Well, I replied to some people last night who were like, well, Dusty, I'm sorry, but McDavid and Draisaitl are still better than Crosby and Malkin. And they're not. I mean, as far as long-term legacy goes, they're not. You can't do it.
Take off the glasses.
You can't do it. As far as legacy goes, they are not on that path yet. Now, I did reply to the one guy on Twitter last night and say, listen, they're going to win a cup. I think they're going to win a cup. Those all-time great guys deliver Stanley Cups. That's just how it works. They're going to get one. Ovechkin eventually got one. Crosby and Malkin have 3. Yzerman eventually got his. It took Stamkos a while. Not that Stamkos is an all-time great, but they've got a great team in Tampa. They eventually got it done. McDavid and Draisaitl, I'll be stunned if they don't deliver a Stanley Cup to this city at some point. It'll flabbergast me. But right now, I'm sorry, as a legacy duo, they're not on the same level as Crosby and Malkin. They just aren't. And if they play 19 years together and don't deliver a Stanley Cup, like if McDavid and Draisaitl play 19 to 20 years together and don't deliver a Stanley Cup, they'll kind of go down as the most disappointing duo of all time.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that McDavid will be second or third all time in points, despite the fact that, they'll probably have more 100-point season as teammates than maybe anyone ever. But if they can't deliver a Stanley Cup championship, massive asterisks on their legacy. But they'll get one. I think they'll get one, probably get 2 or something like that. But right now, you can't put them in the same conversation. I'm sorry. It's disrespectful to Malkin and Crosby. And that's kind of the overall theme that I wanted to get to, is that I just don't think we're respecting those two guys as a 1-2 punch, as a duo anymore, even though they're still ridiculous. Robinson says, guys, Crosby and Malkin close second to Gretzky and Curry.
The fan zone.
The fan zone. Library Pat says, Larry Bird and Kevin McHale were pretty good for a duo. Not 20 years, but 3 titles in 13 years. The fan zone.
Fan zone.
Wait a second. Was he just talking NBA?
There's an extended version, is there not? Where it keeps
There's
going
another one. I don't think we need the extended version.
the full tune.
Anyway, that's the fan zone today.
Fan zone.
For fans first, as we take a look at dynamic duels in the history of the National Hockey League. 780-218-9999. Hit us up over on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube today, smash the thumbs up for us. Remember, as I said, if we get 2,000 likes on a show at any point in the existence of EST, we will do a show from Greg in Lacomb's house. We're at 128, so we got a little ways to go. I think we're in the clear today.
This is like McDavid. We're on track.
Well, I saw Dude from Lacombe text in and be like, you could do it from the world's largest fishing lure. I got a lot of time with that.
I'm hooked.
Yeah. If we can reel in 2,000 likes, we'll do a show from the fishing lure.
Changing 100.
Out in Lacombe.
There you go. We're on the way.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Chipping away.
All right.
They wake up late there at Lacombe, eh? Like they're late
must,
risers,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, they have to be. All right, let's get to the latest installment of The Odds Couple. We got Luke Gazdic coming up. He's going to join us just after 7 o'clock. This is a new little bit we're doing with Zach and Trev. We refer to them as the Odds Couple, and it's with our partners at CoolBet. If you missed the very first one, it was rock, paper, scissors, and YouTube Trev ended up beating Zach in a best of 7, 4-1. The next Odds Couple installment you're about to watch was a thumb war between Zach and Trev. I did put Zach in as the pretty heavy favorite, a bigger favorite in this one, I think, than the last one, because he was talking a lot about, thumb war ability, and he does have huge thumbs, as you'll notice. I noticed in this video, like he's got big, long, gross thumbs.
Alien thumb.
But YouTube, Trev, was that not intimidating going up against those thumbs?
It was very intimidating.
Yeah.
Just clammy hands. The whole thing was scary. I didn't want to touch his hands, so it kind of it terrified me, if I'm being completely honest. And I also don't remember the last time I won a thumb war. Like, I am so bad, so I'm not taking a shot at Zach, but this was his to win. Like, I'm not good.
All right, let's get to it. Here's the latest installment of The Odds Couple.
Welcome to the second installment of The Odds Couple. We got YouTube Trev, defending champion. We got Zacticum wearing his Echo shirt from the late 90s. And we are going to do a thumb war. This guy took down rock, paper, scissors last week. Pretty clean sweep, 4-1. Let's talk a little bit about your thumb war history. We're doing a thumb war today.
I don't have a good track record. I know I'm in the negative, but I looked up some strategies. The Nasties reached out to me. I reached out to them, and I got some tips. So we're looking for a win today.
Let's go over to big, clammy hands, Zacticum.
That's what
you
they
said
call
you
it.
haven't done this in a couple years.
Yeah, I've been out of the game a couple years. I used to be into it. Elementary school and junior high, I used to be the champ in my class. The clammy hands always came in handy, pun intended. But yeah, I'm feeling good about this one. I watched no videos, so I'm just going off my pure skill.
All right, we've got an underdog over here, but the dog was barking last week. He's a plus 300 underdog this week. We got a minus 220 favorite over here. We got a best of 3 thumb wars.
Big hand.
I will say ready, set, and then I'll say thumb war. All right, ready?
Okay.
Ready, set. Oh, wait a second. Time out. This is a big thumb right here.
What the heck?
Zach's got a big thumb. I
It's in
just
weight
noticed.
division. What the heck is this?
All right, that's a big thumb. All right, here we go. Ready?
That's cool.
Ready, set, thumb war. Best of 3. Best of 3. Oh, treble. Oh, treble. 1, 2, 3. That's 1. That's 1.
The elbows up.
No way. That's 1. That's 1.
It's legal.
It's a best of 3. If he wins this one, it's over. You need to have this to force a 3. Here we go. Ready, set, thumb war. That was close. I almost started counting. This is good. 1, 2, 3. It's over. It's over. You two haven't done it again. Back to back. Upset. Zach, he's devastated. Trev, what do you think? What do you think?
Still unbelievable. This was better than last week. I had no idea I was going to win.
Why?
Let's go.
An upset for the ages with the Odds Couple. YouTube Trev makes it back-to-back wins. Hang in there, Zach. That's going to do it for the Odds Couple, presented to you by CoolBet.
Congratulations, Trev. What an upset.
Doing it though, you got to have a field of like a table or something, like
think
the
so?
arm wrestling where they hold the thing and they.
I don't think thumb wars are done on a
This
table.
was a Wild West type
It's a
of.
Wild West
this
table.
was all over the place.
A shout out to Reid Wilkins for the camera work there. Phenomenal
Very
zoom-ins
nice.
on the thumbs
Yeah.
and stuff. It was real nice. All right, a conch for Trev getting the dub. Also, a conch for Zach's Echo t-shirt.
T. Wilson suggests YTT had pine tar.
We'll check his hands. Substance, illegal substance.
little olive oil
A
in there.
controversy for the Estes. Who knows? All right, we got an update coming up here for Green Plan. Luke Gazdic on the other side, fired up on the other side. Coolbet Canada, anytime touchdown wheel. EST Flyway to Los Angeles. That keyword's coming up in 25 minutes. If you want to win a trip to LA, you can do it here and only here with Edmonton Sports Talk. I got beef. Reid Wilkins himself is going to join us at 7:45. But Luke Gazdic on the Oilers getting their first dub and their ownership of the Nashville Predators over the last little while. What's up with having a team's number? We'll get into that with Gazdic as well. But let's get to this update right now for Green Plan.
Oilers hit the road tonight for a pair beginning in Nashville against the 0-3 Predators. You can join Tom Gazzola live from Hudson's on White for the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Coverage gets underway at 5 o'clock. It's one of 11 games around the NHL tonight. Last night, Utah falling in overtime 5-4 to the Ducks. Colorado reaching 1,600 career points. Join me tonight back at the Century Casino Sports Bar Lounge as we kick off Week 7 in the NFL. It's the Broncos visiting the Saints, and your next chance to win some NFL merch. We'll also have the world-famous smoked brisket cheesesteak on special throughout the evening. Dodgers shutting out the Mets from Citi Field 8-zip to take a 2-1 series lead in the NLCS. Game 4 goes later tonight, 6:08. In the ALCS, the Yankees, they'll take a 2-0 lead to Cleveland today. First pitch, 3:08. Back over to hockey. Oil Kings host the Blades from Rogers Place tonight. The club will hit the road for a 9-game trip starting Sunday in Red Deer. And AJHL action saw Lloyd win on the road in Camrose 5-2, while Bonnyville shutting out Fort Mac 1-zip. Action will resume tomorrow with 3 games. Sports Update brought to you by Green Plan, providing you with award-winning environmental planning and consulting service, whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential. Plan it right with Green Plan. Visit green-plan.com or give them a call, 780-455-4292.
The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
On the Nielsen Show, brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Go see Daniel and his family-friendly team out in the Fort. They do business different. They do it right in Fort Saskatchewan. www.southfortchev.com. Nielsen Show coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio today. There is some controversy on this Thumb War video, and I'm going to take the heat for this because I totally forgot how Thumb Wars start. Remember? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a Thumb War. And then you would shake, and then you would bow. And then you would fight.
You do bow, yeah, bow to your...
Trev, what do you think about the controversial win now?
Okay, well, whatever.
That's on me. It's on me.
I'll run it back, and the same outcome will happen.
I think you still won. It was just more of a street fight.
Yes.
This is like a bare knuckle.
Yeah, let's get into it. That's kind of all it was. But if he wants to settle it, I'll be here.
Also, for those of you who heard the dead air for whatever it was, 20 seconds, that was just user error. Don't worry about it. Trev accidentally literally unplugged the cable, which that was good because I was panicking. I was like, oh no, what have we done? But Trev, you just accidentally unplugged the cable.
I got a new cable and I unplugged it. I thought it was my hard drive and it wasn't. And I freaked out, but we're good.
All right, we're slammed here. We're slammed in hour number 2. We got Luke Gazdic coming up right away. Then we'll get to fired up. Possible life-changing thing here for the Nielsen family. I'm so fired up after last
night. You found your cash cow.
This is it. Found my cash cow. Moo. Anyway, we're going to get to that. We got Oilers tickets to give away to this game against the Canes, courtesy our partners over at Gemco and Napoleon Grills. Coolbet Canada Anytime Wheel, EST Flyway to LA. I got beef and Reid Wilkins all on the way. Right now, we've got Luke Gazdic joining us, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialists. Have Pro-Am custom frame that jersey you have in the closet or that photo you've still got in the box. Visit them in store to get your project started. located in Edmonton at the corner of St. Albert Trail and 128th Ave, or online at proransports.ca. I have 2 items sitting in my basement waiting for a trip to see the Cooks and Boys. I'm going to take that Birdie Booze photo that somebody did of us, and then the newspaper.
Yeah, perfect.
And I'm going to go in. I'm just going to tell Jack and Ken, I said, you guys design whatever you want.
Love it.
Surprise me.
Dealer's choice.
Yeah, dealer's choice. That's what I'll say. And then I'll just walk out.
That's what you do.
Drop them off. Dealer's choice, and turn around and walk out. Impossible. When you go in there, you want to chat with the boys. All right, let's bring in a guy we like to chat with, Luke Gazdic, who, I'm going to start this segment with an apology, Luke. Apology for not being as good of interviewer as Reid Wilkins. I was listening to your hit with Reid, and my God, what a professional. You're a lucky duck to be a guest on Reid Wilkins' show.
Am I ever? He's a man. Listen, you're not too bad too. Just different styles, I'll say. But honestly, I got to know Reid my first year in Edmonton. There's, a handful of Edmonton media that are at every practice and every game. And he was just kind of my buddy. He was always cool. Not everyone's like that. And when he asked me to start being a regular thing, I said, yes, he's the man. Tell some good stories, and we always have some good chats.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's coming up actually at 7:45 today. I think he just wants to be close to you. He's
hell of an hour.
He goes, hey, you want me on the show tomorrow? I was like, is this just because Luke Gazdic's on the show tomorrow? Like, what's going on? He goes, well, I would prefer the second hour. I said, but that's the hour Luke Gazdic is in. So, we'll have Reid around 7:45. His show's been going awesome, and you're a good fit on that show. The Edmonton Oilers get their win. Gaz, I know you dropped the mitts, for a living in the National Hockey League. How much does Stetcher standing up for his goaltender ignite the season moving forward?
Listen, man, it doesn't happen often anymore. You rarely see stuff like that. And then I think Worm, recognizing the tension in the game and knew that kind of there was some blood in the water, and he made it 2 for 2. Both those scraps to me, it changed the entire outlook and direction of the game. And it just never happens anymore, man. You rarely see that stuff. It gets me fired up. I'm on the couch at 12 o'clock Eastern here going nuts in the dark. It was a great tilt, and good on the boys for showing a little bit of fire. I think finally,
yes,
good on Stetch. I think finally he's just you know what, enough. You're not going to just put a shoulder into the middle of my goalie. Let's go. And he's a bigger dude, so good on him, man.
Does it do more for a group when it's an unlikely guy who does it, as opposed to someone like yourself, where they're like, oh, Gaz is going to take care of business? But a guy like Steve, he's given up weight. He doesn't do it often. I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, this is going to come out wrong, but I used to hate that because I go out there and scrap the biggest, toughest dude on the ice, and my bench is golf clap, oh, good job, great job, Gaz. But then someone in the top six goes out there, gets someone gets hit, the gloves come flying off, and it's a guy that never goes. The entire bench is up. You're let's effing go, boys. That was awesome. I think it just shows because after a certain amount of time, guys know that a person like me is willing. And when you see a guy who you're not really sure, you're I wonder what would happen if he got mixed up at once in a game. I wonder if he would go, and all of a sudden he's going toe to toe. Both that stuff.
You know what? We were talking about a lot of the X's and O's through the first 3 games that they lost. And they had got themselves back into that game against Philly after a slow start. And then the fights happened, and you could tell there's just more jump in their step. Do you think maybe we were overthinking the first 3 games, and they were just lacking emotion and kind of give a damn to start the season? And maybe that's changed now?
I mean, that's pretty much exactly what it looked like. There was no heart, there was no jump, there was no energy. So it's not, to me, it's not concerning 3 games. I understand you kind of live and die by every game, especially as a fan, and you want to see at least an effort from your squad. And I think that was the most concerning thing for me in the first couple. But after a while, finally, they just woke up, and I don't mind that at all. I think at one point here we're gonna have a talk on the goals, the goalie interference going on.
Yeah,
but
we will.
I didn't have too much concern, man. They just did not look like they had any jump or even look like they wanted to be out there at all, to be honest.
Luke, it was a weird homestand because we were kind of discussing how the elongated preseason, and now that it's finally wrapped up, they had a game against Calgary, which is always an emotional affair too. But I think for this team going out on the road, for these two, starting tonight in Nashville, finishing Saturday afternoon in Dallas, might be some good stuff to kind of get them and get that competitive spirit back. I know against the win in Philly, the Stetcher fight, we kind of said a bit of a turning point. But do you kind of feel that this team now heading out on the road against these two particular opponents, albeit, and I'd like your thoughts on Nashville as well, with the start they've had and the loss the other night with the Kraken coming from behind to knock them off at home. What does that kind of set the Oilers up for on this 2-game road trip, would you think?
Listen, like anytime you can get on the road, especially early in the season with the squad, that's a good thing. Get the guys on the plane. You're staying in the same hotel. You spend a ton of time together. So even from like an outside off the ice perspective, it's always good to get a road trip, an extended road trip early in the season. A couple new teammates on your squad, and you get to see everyone's kind of habits and tendencies, and this is not going to be an easy one. You guys are going to see a lot of me. Actually, I'm doing both regional intermissions. I'm on tonight, and then you'll see me Saturday breaking it down. But Nashville's starving for a win. Like, I'm watching that game versus Seattle the other night. They're tied 3-3 going into the third. Their home opener. I'm like, they're going to blow this thing out of the water. And Seattle comes back, wins 7-3. So they're starving for a win. Marchessault and Stammer both haven't scored yet. Like, they are going to be chomping at the bit. But Draisaitl and the Oilers perennially play well down in Nashville. So you just never know. And Dallas on Saturday undefeated. So you know how that team plays. It is never an easy couple points against the Stars in Big D. So it should be a good roadie.
The numbers on McDavid and Draisaitl against Nashville are ridiculous. Like, McDavid in his last 13 games against Nashville has 33 points, and Draisaitl has 5 3-point games or more in his last 7. He's got 9 career multi-goal games, a hat trick, a 4-goal game, and he scored 2 goals against Nashville 7 times. It's one of those things. Like, these guys just own the Nashville Predators. Is there why? Do you have any reason why?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me if I had any buildings like that I scored a lot in, but the answer is no. I was like, can you imagine playing against a team and having like 50 points? I had like 5. I honestly, I don't know what it is. There's just certain buildings. I will, like, all jokes aside, there were some buildings that you just feel more comfortable playing in. There was a number of places. One of them was San Jose, and I understand, like, being mentally strong is, but when I walked in San Jose every night, I just knew I wasn't going to have a good game. Like, I was just accepting of it. If I can walk out of here -1, like, this is a good night. There's just some buildings where you just don't feel it. And maybe for these guys, it's Nashville where they feel it, and good on them. Hopefully they can keep that streak going, because it's done well for them.
As we spent a lot of time yesterday talking about the Michkov goal that they challenged and it still counted, and then the Hyman interference in front of the net. How difficult do you think it is as a player, specifically those who go to the net, to know what they can and can't do right now with goaltender interference?
I'm an analyst here, and we have examples of this that happen in the green room as I'm watching games and stuff. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, I don't even know what it is anymore. Yeah. Like, I'm watching goals and I'm like, oh, that's good. Like, they're going to keep that. And then they're calling back, like, the Perry one. It's just, you know what? Gager put it pretty good in the intermission of the Philly game. I think goalies get way too much respect. And I'm sorry. It's just like, you have to be able to battle a bit for your position. And I understand we can't be going in there and taking away the crease and being physical with these guys. But I mean, at a certain point, they have to have some sort of battle level. And a number of them, probably 2 to 3, maybe all 3 of the last examples of the last couple games, like, those are all good goals for me. If you're going to have to sit there and break it down frame by freaking frame to see if he accidentally, like, hit him in the arm, it's probably a goal. Like, what are we doing here? We want to see goals. We want to see offense. We want to see exciting games. Why are we stopping games, eating 15 minutes at some points to break down this frame by frame thing when you could just call this a goal and we could just move on.
Well,
that's my thing on it. Is like
your good friend Reid Wilkins tweeted out after the game. He's like, just use video review to see if the puck has crossed the line, and just eliminate it on goaltender interference. Just live with the call. Just live with the call on the ice. I got time for that.
Honestly, like I just think we want to see more goals. We want to see offense. They've removed all these penalties and they call obstruction way harder because they want to see more offense. And here we are calling back the most ticky-tacky goalie interference stuff.
Hey, before we let you go, a huge night for Crosby and Malkin last night. I was talking a little bit this morning. I think we're living in a world where we just don't realize that these guys have been like the most dynamic duo in the league for almost 20 bloody years. And last night, Malkin gets goal 500, and Crosby gets point 1,600, and Crosby wins it with the old far post knee drop on the power play in overtime. And it's just one day we aren't going to have these guys, and we gotta respect what they're doing right now. It's phenomenal to see.
Yeah, I was listening to you guys before I came on here, and you made a good point saying like it's just different when you're living in it, right? Like I remember his first goal. You remember that shootout goal against Montreal, the leg kick, backhand under the bar. Like I remember that like it was yesterday, watching in my parents' basement here in Toronto, and now here he is 1,600 points later. I'll tell you guys a quick story. I might have told this last year, but if not, I'll refresh because it's one of my favorites of all time. I'm like, I know I could get this wrong. 10 games in my HL career, 4 years pro at the time. We're playing in Edmonton. We are out there for about a minute and a half. Me, Gordo, and who was our right winger? I don't know who the right winger was, but it was me and Boyd Gordon. So we go back into the D zone and I am huffing. We are huffing and puffing. And I look at the we're playing Pitt that night. Yeah. I look at the Pittsburgh bench. Who comes over? Crosby, Malkin, Kunitz. And I just remember being like, oh man, we're so in one here. So at the same time, like I'm so starstruck, right? Like this is Sid, man. Like I'm looking over it. I'm like, all right, what are we doing here? So I go to Gordo. I go, what's the play, man? We always have like a defensive face-off play, reverse off the glass. He looks at me and just goes, survive. So I think he snapped it back like he usually does, drops down to one knee. We went high and hard off the glass and I just sprinted to the bench as fast as possible.
Mission accomplished.
Live to tell the tale.
Oh, that's a good story, buddy. All right, Luke, well, we'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Enjoy the coverage of the Oilers games both tonight and on Saturday, and have a much better interview with Reid Wilkins next week, okay?
All right, be well, guys. Thanks.
Okay, there you go. That's Luke Gazdic with Sportsnet. He said working the regional games tonight, so you see some of his work on the Nashville game tonight and then Dallas. That is brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. If you got a jersey or a photo hanging around right now, why not go in and get it custom framed? It'll look sharp. You'll be proud to hang it up. Visit them in store to get your project started. St. Albert Trail, 128th Ave, right on the corner there. Or, of course, online. You can go check things out, proamsports.ca.
Very snappy new age. Trim your sporting Dusty from Fergie's prostate. I mean, he's noticing as well.
You know what? The
plaudits continue to roll in.
If a guy in his 60s likes my haircut, I'll take it.
He loves it high and tight.
Yeah, he does.
You know it.
So do I today.
Yeah.
Like I looked over a couple times. My wife likes it. She said yesterday during Oil Stream, she said, handsome haircut. Oh. And then she did me the emoji kiss blow.
Couldn't wait for you to get home, eh?
Yeah.
Is that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your nap yesterday, yeah?
No. She had a physio yesterday. She was pretty banged up in the afternoon, so that didn't happen. But anyway, the haircut does look good. All right, so let's get to fired up. We got tickets. We got tickets to the Canes game. Oilers Canes.
Ooh.
You're going to want to get these. Courtesy Ryan over at Gemco's hooked us up with these tickets. So let's do this right now. If you are listening, let's get in this and let's pick a winner before we do the EST flyaway keyword. So text in fired up right now. Just text fired up to 780-218-9999. One of you will win tickets to go see the Oilers take on the Canes. If you don't win these tickets, get your tickets at fansfirst.ca. Buy fans for fans, no fees. Fired Up, Gemco Fireplaces has been proudly serving Edmonton area for 45 years and are the authorized dealer of Napoleon fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. Shout out to Ryan from Gemco for hooking us up with those tickets. Oilers and Canes text fired up right now to 780-218-9999. As Eric said, I may have finally found the Nielson family cash cow.
All aboard?
Last night.
Yeah.
Last night. So Marshall Bo Keith Nielson, my 9-year-old son.
Yes.
Size of a 14-year-old. So usually he does swimming lessons in the afternoon. His sister and him do swimming lessons at the same time. Tammy usually takes them. He's now graduated from True Blue. He's graduated from all the lessons, and now he's just in like graduation classes where he just swims laps now.
I was going to say, you could pass for a lifeguard.
It's just, well, he's actually like 2 classes away from being into the lifeguard
Like if he needed
program.
saving, the lifeguard would be too small to save Marshall.
Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, I took him last night because it was an evening thing. So I took him to swimming last night. It was his first time in this graduation class. And he started, they got 3 lanes there, and he was in a lane with 3 other kids. And first time he's been in this class, and they would like send the first swimmer, and they were just doing, the regular swim, and they have to do it. I don't know how, they must have done it for 20 straight minutes.
Oh.
But and he was the 4th one, the new kid in class. He was kind of hesitant. He's at the back of the group. So he starts swimming these laps. And I just, right away, I texted Tam. I was like, Marshall's an insanely powerful swimmer. And she goes, I know, I've been telling you. I was like, no, this is insane.
telling you.
So he passed all other 3 kids in his lane. And by the time they finished the laps, he was 3/4 of a length ahead of all of them. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at the other parents, being like, "Are you noticing this? Are you seeing my kid?
Chicken wings going
Are
all
you
over
seeing my kid? I got a Michael Phelps in the pool right now. I didn't even know it. It was phenomenal. So Marshall gets, maybe I'm building him up too much here, but he gets out of the pool. He comes over to me, and I said to him, you keep this up, you could win an Olympic medal. That's what I said to him last night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you got to set the bar.
I
right?
swear to God, the kid's a freak in the pool. It's just, I'm so fired up right now. This is it. I took him out of hockey. I took him out of power skating. He's not going to play basketball anymore.
Good.
And he's not doing baseball in the spring.
There's one thing Jeff Krischel said. It's focused on one sport and one sport
He's
only.
only swimming. That's it. I told Tam, I said, does he really need to go to school in the mornings? Or can we put him in the pool?
Pool life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have him in the pool, and I'm going to be yelling out spelling and math questions from the sideline.
Do you have a swim cap or swim caps for him yet?
He will now.
Yeah, I think you need.
I didn't know this.
You need the swim cap.
Oh, yeah.
The goggles right on.
He's only rolling into lessons next week, or not even lessons anymore, because he's a Phelps. In a Speedo.
Speedos,
Yeah.
exactly. You got to get him.
Marshall's going to be in a Speedo.
Any and all advantage that you can give the boy right now, you have to give him. That's what it is. Swim cap, Speedos, the goggles. And we're not talking knockoff brand. You got to get the brand. Dump the money in. Invest now. This is the investment.
Yeah.
Sell the Lawrence cards. Invest in the Speedos.
Listen, if a representative for Speedo is watching or listening right now,
why not?
Reach out. Email me. Dustin@edmontonsportstalk.com. I've got your next star.
Lacombe Drew. Michael Phelps. More like Marshall Nielson.
Yeah, exactly. That could be text of the day. That could be text of the day. Write that one down.
Lacombe Drew. Love it.
Lacombe Drew. I like in the chat, where is it? Belineski says, the next Penny McIntosh.
Sure.
I mean, this is what happens with swimmers. I almost felt bad too. I almost said, "Hey, man, slow down a bit. Let the other kids hang around."
Well, it is a young person's sport, right? Like you don't do it when you're.
It is.
This is the time. He's in his prime.
You still have to have another career after swimming,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So, you know what? Win a couple of Olympic medals,
Then go back to
roll
school.
back in here at 28 years old and work at Edmonton Sports Talk for the rest of your life. But that's how I'm fired up right now. It's
Timber Woodsman says you can get goggles with his glasses prescription.
you know
Get
what?
a twofer,
It might be
a
time.
twofer, a twofer.
It probably is time for that. So because right now he's swimming blind.
He needs to be in a swim cap.
He's swimming
I
blind.
need Marshall in a swim
I
cap.
want Marshall going into next class, swim cap, goggles, Speedo.
And like jet black. It's got to be all like just very intimidating. Like a sub down there.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna walk into next class and Marshall, before you come in, let me go in. And it'd be like one of those guys before a joust that announces everything. I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, the torpedo is here.
He's got the robe.
Remember the Torpedo?
Yeah.
Was that Ian Thorpe? His nickname was the Torpedo.
You have
Best
to-
swimming nickname ever.
And D-robe. He's got the robe with the.
Anyway, this is a big thing now. I'm a swimming parent, and I'm fired up for it. I'm very fired up.
Swim parent Dusty. I like this. Get you a whistle for some reason. You can you sit there in the high chair, just blow
Yep.
the whistle randomly.
Yeah,
Go,
that's it. Do it again. and then this kid, then they're like, okay, we're gonna do butterfly now, and he's butterflying. It's a boom, 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 boom. and then, who is this kid? It was funny because last night the Muzz had dance. Oh yeah, my daughter's in dance too. Just kidding. She's a freaking dance too. I think they found their things, dance and swimming. Like the Muzz, she gets it. Anyway, so they were at dance last night, And then Marshall and I were throwing footballs in the basement. And then I said, hey, are you going to have enough energy for swimming tonight? He goes, Daddy, as soon as I hit the pool, I just feel the energy. I was like, what? Woo!
Well,
Anyway,
and
glorious
look,
day.
you're no stranger to the water yourself. I think this is a genetics thing, clearly. I don't know about Tammy's history with the
I
aquatics.
do really enjoy swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I
I,
do.
mean, it's got it from his daddy.
Jordan is in and says, swimming blind. Who does he think he is? Alexei Minknov? Bob Loblaw says, guys, swim club is the way to go, Dusty. Lots of time in the pool.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
Morinville Step says, send him to Donnan. He can be in our elite program. School in the mornings, swims in the afternoons. Hashtag greatness.
Okay, wait, where's this?
Donnan.
Donnan. They have a swim program.
Yeah. Get him to be one of
Okay.
those swim
Side note, Donnan
swim to school.
Swim School. That would be great.
The hunt for Red October, more like the hunt for Marshall Nielsen. They can't catch him.
Who said that one?
Super Mario.
Super Mario?
Very good.
Is that a text?
Yeah, yeah.
God.
Very good.
That could be text. That could be
Hunt
text.
for Red October.
That's good. I also like this one for Big Slime Nasty. Guys, I can't wait until I'm walking on the Codell Bridge and I see Marshall swimming in the North Sask with Dusty behind him
Yeah.
on a boogie board. He's towing me.
Against the current. Against the current.
And people are lined up along the edge.
Oh, yeah.
And they're cheering him on.
Yeah. You got to get a piece of the action
Bones
before
is
you
in.
make
It says, Marshall the Corvette Nielsen.
Yeah.
Yeah, my son, Speedboat.
Just sleek, hey?
Anyway, that's what I'm fired up about. Fired Up, brought to you by Napoleon. They're fireplaces. They'll keep you warm after a winter swim in the river. Come home and warm up with your Napoleon fireplace, available at Gemco Fireplaces.
The Marshakuda from La Bamba guy.
The Marshakuda. The Marshakuda. There's lots of good names. Anyway, I'm standing up on the side of the pool with all the other parents and saying, are you seeing this? Your kids are back there. My kid's up here. He's got the body of a swimmer. What can I say? All right, let's spin the wheel. We got lots to do. We still got lots to do. We got EST Fire. All right, so let's... the wheel. The return... you're never going to believe this. The return of Foster Moreau.
Can he do it?
The very man who we spun a couple of weeks ago looks to double down. We said if we spin Foster Moreau today and he gets a touchdown tonight, his new nickname is what?
Mr. Primetime.
Mr. Primetime. And we gotta
I don't
get him
know
on the
who
show.
else would rather have that name. The construction paper's still holding strong.
Still
We have
holding
to,
strong.
yeah, it's-
Here for Cool Bets, the random anytime touchdown score for Thursday Night Football. Let me give you the names, then we'll spin it. Alvin Kamara, minus 110. Javonte Williams, plus 150. Cortland Sutton, plus 225. Bo Nix, plus 225. Spencer Radler, plus 350. Jaleel McLaughlin, plus 350. Bub Means. I picked him up in the Spite League yesterday.
Love it.
Bub Means, plus 400. Troy Franklin, plus 450. Jawan Johnson, plus 450. Mason Tipton, plus 450. Ooh, Cedric Wilson Jr., plus 450. Devon Valey, plus 500. Foster Moreau, plus 500. Jamal Williams. Man, there's only about half the board here.
It's the wheel is just.
This is
the wheel is thin.
all right. Let's go. Here we go. Spin that wheel. Come on. One of the heavies or Foster Moreau just for the storyline. Bub Means. Bub Means.
We got a hell of a name.
Hey, here's the thing. Many of you have never heard of Bub Means before. 8 targets and a touchdown last week. Hello.
Let's keep going.
Bub Means.
The kid's hot.
4-1. 200. Plus 400. Ooh, look at that. Benny on the changing to a nice work. Bub Means plus 400. You got to love it. All right. EST Flyaway to LA. Brought to you by the 780. Homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand. It celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work close to 100 local vendors. 780 area code. Bub Means.
Bub Means.
Man, it's maybe I should start him in the Spite League
Feeling
this week.
good. Hey, yeah, it's got a little vibe to it.
Am I in or am I not in?
Well,
I should sit Debo Samuel and start Bub Means.
correct.
Check them out online, 780.com. That's SEVEN80.com, 780.com, or at any of their 5 locations, Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, the Outlet Mall. Check out their popular Berta Brief underwear brand, and then obviously they're very, very popular, loyal to the soil. brand as well. Your keyword today, it's a trip for two down to Los Angeles, December 26th to December 30th. You're going to love this trip. What happened here? Look at this sheet. It's all gross.
Oh.
That's Hernan Salas. Hernan's the only other guy that sits here. Did Hernan spill
too
this?
much fire, eh?
Glue guy might have. Yeah, somebody.
Is that glue? That's paper mache. He's made some paper mache on there.
This does look like paper mache. Of all the days. All right. Your keyword today for the trip for two, Cardinals, Rams, Warriors, Clippers, and Edmonton versus either the Kings or the Ducks. Your keyword today is Kemper, as in Darcy Kemper, I guess. Kuemper. Kemper. Kuemper. That is your keyword today. You will text that keyword right now to 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Kemper, to get yourself in the mix.
Spelling is correct. It's not Ellie Kemper, the famous actor. I mean, this is L.A. I want
Nope.
it could be.
Nope.
He could be throwing you a curveball here, right? Like
This is definitely Darcy Kemper. Kuemper. Best of luck. 780-218-9999. One of you will qualify for the EST Flyaway to L.A. Shows flying along here. I Got Beef on the way next, just after 7:30 here. And Reid Wilkins from the smash hit Reid Wilkins Show. He's going to pop by around 7:45 today. Oilers against a team that they absolutely own, the Nashville Predators. That's going down tonight. Let's get to a sports update right now for the great staff over at Park Mazda, as Lieutenant Eric will have more on everything that's happening in the world of sports with our partners over at Park Mazda. Do you think I put too much pressure on Marshall now?
No, not at all. The kid drinks chlorine for breakfast, right?
This
Just
kid
get used to
drinks chlorine for breakfast.
You need to get his name on the Speedo, too, like in handwriting.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
100%. Yeah, it's his own signature.
Spare no expense. Exactly.
On the Speedo. Let's get the sports update for Park Mazda.
Game day as the Oilers hit the road for a pair beginning tonight in Nashville against the 0-3 Predators. You can join Tom Gazzola live from Hudson's on White for the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Coverage gets underway at 5 o'clock. It's one of 11 games around the NHL tonight. Last night, Utah falling in overtime to the Ducks 5-4. The Avs, they fall to 0-4 in the season, suffering a 5-3 home loss to the Bruins. Leafs 6-2 over the Kings, and Evgeny Malkin notching his 500th goal. Sidney Crosby reaching 1,600 points, also scoring the overtime winner in a 6-5 Pittsburgh win over the Buffalo Sabres. Join me tonight back at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge as we kick off Week 7 in the NFL when the Broncos visit the Saints. It'll be your next chance to score some sweet NFL merch and the world-famous smoked brisket cheesesteak on special throughout the evening. Major League Baseball action, Dodgers shutting out the Mets from Citi Field 8-zip. They now lead the NLCS 2-1. Game 4 later tonight at 6:08. In the ALCS, the Yankees take a 2-0 series lead to Cleveland today. First pitch, 3:08. Back over to hockey, where the Edmonton Oil Kings host the Saskatoon Blades tonight. The Oil Kings will then hit the road for a 9-game trip, which begins Sunday out in Red Deer. AJHL action saw Lloyd win on the road in Camrose 5-2, while Bonnyville shut out Fort Mac 1-zip. Action resumes tomorrow with 3 games. Sports update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where he likes swimming as well. Synchronized.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a figure skater. He wears like a white outfit and he does interpretive ice dances to my life's journey.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Edmonton Sports Talk's roaring to the top. Get ready to face your bets after listening to the Lock Shop. 6 hours at 8 and 12 after only 1 year. Like a pit stop house machine, shift down into top gear. Tacticum, Rapticum, and YouTube trip. In a short drive with wheels out to Southport Trip. Weekly afternoon just got a little bit more sweet. Turn at salad brings the heat while Gator with the jerky meat. For everything Oilers, tune into the Oil Stream. And if that ain't enough, don't miss two guys and a walkie. If you're looking for insiders, tune in for Darren Dreger. If it's the NFL you're into, check out the coach, Herman Edwards. ESP Hangout with Tommy and Maddie. Adding judgment to them makes the shows more classy and chatty. Even Reid Wilkins joined the ESP crew. With Jamie riding shotgun and providing the glue. Orange and blue and green and gold, green post game.
7:36 on the Nielson Show. That's John T. and Victoria's Year 2 song. Very good one. Very good one. Put himself in the mix for a possible SD. Reid Wilkins is going to join us around 7:45 today. Greg Wyshynski, who could not pop by yesterday, will also join us to help set up the Oilers and the Preds. He'll be by around 8:30 today. Scalding hot takes, orange and blue breakfast, 3 questions too many. Kind of easy trivia. This is a slammed show this morning. Hopefully you are being entertained. The Nielsen Show is brought to you by our great partners out at South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot with Daniel and his family-friendly team out at South Fort Chev. Trev is calling our qualifier for the EST flyaway to Los Angeles. We're going to have them. Then we're going to get into I Got Beef. Then Reid Wilkins is going to join us as well. Remember, if you text in trying to win this trip to Los Angeles, pick up your phone when we call you. I can hear Trev calling somebody right now.
Yeah,
it's like 4 rings and nobody's picking up.
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
How can you text us and then not stay by your phone for like 3 minutes?
I just envisioned the text, job done.
Yeah. Well, nice to qualify.
Sound off.
Put it down. What is going on here?
First time?
That just blows my mind. Every single time. Every single time that amazes me. Absolutely amazes me. All right, Trev's going to call another name. Hopefully this time they pick up. Once again, it's a pretty amazing trip. I want to put this bad boy together for us, and it's real nice. You're going to get flights. You're going to get your accommodations. You're going to get a rental car. You're going to get tickets to see the Clippers and the Warriors. You're going to get tickets to see the Cardinals and the Rams. And you are also going to get tickets to see Edmonton, the Orange and Blue, take on one of the Kings or the Ducks, depending on... Did somebody else not pick up either? What are we doing here, guys?
I think we've got beef.
Yeah, this could very much be a beef.
It'd be slide right in.
This could very much be a beef.
But another good part of the trip is you get away during the best time to get away. Well, it's that time where everybody's sitting around too full of cheese. It's going to be so good that you get away while everybody's just laying around and lazing around. You get your Christmas, you get your New Year's. It's just right in between. It's perfect.
Yeah, I was trying to think what is the perfect time for a getaway.
Because you don't want to be working those. Like that's a weird time to work. You're doing like Spengler, right? Like
nothing gets done.
Nothing gets done. Nobody's really taking life serious.
Yeah. Like you don't have to even I think some
it's
people
winter, so you're down south.
Like when some people take a vacation, and I don't know, I think we all operate in a different fashion.
Yeah.
But I think when some people take a vacation, you're still kind of like stuck at work. You know, you're still thinking about work. You're still like, well, I'll check my emails once a day.
You take a week off in the middle of regular season. You're kind
But nobody's really expecting you to get anything done between December 26th and December 30th anyway.
And even after that, it takes a week to get back in the mix.
Why not go on a trip?
Yeah. It's the perfect time.
Yeah.
Nobody's expecting nothing from you. You can turn it all off like people are doing right now for the contest.
Well, let's just get into I Got Beef. Trev's going to keep trying. Three people have not picked up.
And now people are texting, call me. I'm watching my phone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, are you? Are you? Because I don't think you're watching your phones. Let's get into I Got Beef for Acme. Trev's going to get a name. We're going to get to Reid Wilkins coming up as well. I mean, we have to start with that. I Got Beef. Don't text it. Yeah, call again. Yeah. We're going to get somebody.
It's rather amazing.
Call one more, and then after that, we'll just pick somebody and... No, look at this guy trying to call back.
Give me a break.
There's no call back here.
Give me a break.
Be by your phone. Pick it up.
Call back.
There's no call back. What is this? Jeez. Amateur hour? Anyway, we got beef with this for sure. Eat fresh, eat local, eat Acme. Acme Meat, serving Edmonton for over 100 years. 9570 76th Ave. Happy belated birthday to the birthday boy earlier in the week, Corey the Butcher. Looking tight for 48, my man.
Yeah.
You know, when I was talking about having the turkey, like carving the turkey grossed me out. My wife said, she goes, well, that Corey the Butcher guy, he must just be immune to this now. And I was like, of course. Like, he must not even view it as old animals.
Old hat for him.
Like, it's just product for him.
Let's work, yeah.
Yeah. All right, what do you got beef with?
Well, I think, again, collectively,
Definitely beef here.
it happened again. It won't. Now people are doing it for a bit. People are sacrificing their own chance at this trip just for Corey the
Trev's
Butcher
going
and
to
Ivy
explode.
Meats. Yeah.
Would somebody please? How do like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people text in, but nobody picks up their phone when we call them?
Yet everybody's seemingly at the same time waiting for the call.
This is bizarre. Okay, my beef, and this is, I got two beefs. I wrote down two beefs here. One, I got beef with people who haven't checked out the Reid Wilkins show yet. You are missing out. If you like our show, I think you might like their show even better. The Reid Wilkins show is phenomenal programming every day from 3 to 6. If you've not yet added it to your daily routine, I'm telling you, you're wasting time in other places. The Reid Wilkins show delivers. Simple as that. The other beef I have is with the stupid For You tab on Twitter.
Yeah.
Nobody asked for it. Nobody wanted it. And it is a pain in the ass. And the fact that when you log on to Twitter, it like takes you to the For You thing.
Well, you know why? For You and following are right there. So it's on For You, right? So you're like, I want to get back to following. So look what's right up above following. Upgrade. So it makes you want to hit that because you hit upgrade by accident.
It's a scam.
It's a scam. Yes.
Anyway, but the problem with that, so when I go on TikTok, I don't even have a TikTok account, but the algorithm gets me my animals killing other animals. Like the algorithm is what I want.
That feeds you what you need.
The For You on Twitter is not what you want.
No.
Like I get things on there. I'm like, why the hell is this coming up on my feed? Skip. Please don't post this again. That algorithm, they're trying to screw us on the For Yous. That's what's.
Yeah, you click and then you click following, click upgrade by accident. Now all of a sudden you're upgrading. I don't need to be upgrading.
A major beef.
We're
Twitter.
batting like Otane with the bases empty.
I just don't understand how people Ben tried. You got a voicemail. Somebody's voicemail popped up.
It's a bit now. People are sack. I love how they're taking a bump for the bit.
Yeah, I'm going to pass along Trev's beef from earlier on. Trev had a beef before the show this morning. How nobody ever knew that Bruce Wayne was Batman. It's so stupid. He says it's so obvious. It's so stupid.
His brow furrows. You can tell.
Yeah.
Like he shakes his head.
It just drives him nuts.
Now combined with the calls, you've really got him into a.
What do you have for your beef? Barry the Cheater says, guys, is YouTube Trev even calling anybody? I'm watching him sit here. He's in a full-blown meltdown right now. It's, everybody's texting me like, hey, Trev, call me. Trev, call me.
Well, there's one guy that texted in, just missed your call.
Oh, tough one. Why would you miss
I don't
that
understand
call?
how you're doing this.
It
Job
doesn't
done.
make any sense. All right, the beef is boiling our blood today.
Boiling beef.
It's boiling our blood in beef. Or boiling our beef in blood.
Boil
one
your
way or
beef
the
from
other.
Acme Meats today.
I love other people still trying to text in Camper to be like, maybe they'll
it's
they'll
worth
do
a
it
shot.
again. Yeah, I think that's a good
Love the
one.
enthusiasm.
All right, do we have Reid Wilkins? Let's just go to Reid Wilkins, the host of the smash hit Reid Wilkins show every day from 3 to 6. You keep trying. We're going to get somebody. It's going to be the most fortunate person of all time. Reid Wilkins, Trev's called like 6 people they haven't picked up for this trip. Can you believe it?
That is my beef.
Oh, we got an echo, I think, on Reid.
Keep it.
And that's it. That's his beef.
Uh-oh.
This is a second Reid.
I love it.
It's not you. It's not you. We'll get that. We'll get it sorted out.
Check.
I'm
not hearing it.
Well, we're good now. No, you were good. We've got it figured out now. Okay, so that's your beef. Your beef is the same beef as us.
All right, so I agree with the For Now or the For You thing in Twitter. Like it's useless or X or whatever. I mean that platform has become such a mess, even though I still use it and I just tweeted something. So do you now have to say I X something? That technically
I
Elon
still
doesn't
say
call
tweeted.
What does Elon say now when he posts something on X? Does he say I X'd something, which makes it sound like you crossed it out and didn't do it? It's like a weird space of existence. I did something, but I X'd it. So did you actually negate it? I will say this though about I know people are some people. Well, my phone knows everything I'm doing. Well, yeah, that's kind of the point. Whether you like it or not. And for the most part, I like it because if I'm into something or looking something up and then other things are suggested to me, I think, well, this is perfect. A few months ago, I was Googling about shelving. And then all of this, it only took about maybe a day and a half. And then I go on YouTube and all of a sudden it's, here's a DIY shelf. Here's how to put this shelf together. Here's the 10 best bookcases under $200. Like it's quick. And for the most part, I get why it can be a little creepy, but I also think that's what we want from computers and technology and our phones. We want convenience. So for the most part, I like it. But the Twitter for you is a mess. I just have it. What do I have the setting? Well, I just have it following. So it's just.
Yeah, that's what I try. That's what I try to do too. Did you ever build the shelves?
Not myself. No. Like it was. Sorry, I wasn't. I didn't want to build my own shelf, but I was looking up bookshelves to buy, and then as part of that, DIY shelving was suggested to me. I've never built anything that wasn't prefabricated to build. Like
me neither.
I'm the least handy person ever. Like I can hang pictures and do very small repairs in my home. Other than that,
you've done an IKEA though. You could probably.
Right? Oh, I can put together IKEA and Costco, and I can put stuff together if I have instructions. But like a shelf from scratch, like if you gave me a tree, it said. It's process a shelf. Like I'm not using a saw. Like if I ever show up, like if I used a saw, so I'm going to be getting to work probably around 11 this morning. Like if I used a saw in the next 3 hours, I'd be coming to work with less than 10 fingers. Like I can guarantee that in the next few minutes. If there was like a saw, if I had a saw behind me, I can't even identify the types of saws. There's a table saw. There's a bandsaw.
I use a jigsaw for a lot of my sawing. And I don't know if I've ever used the jigsaw in the correct fashion. I bought one time and I use it to cut hockey sticks. That's the only thing I use my saw for. And the blade heats up really hot and then I go to touch it and it burns my fingers.
Are you supposed to touch it?
I don't think so.
That would be kind of ironic. How did you burn your fingers? I touched a saw. Wait a minute, you didn't cut your fingers off? No, I burned them.
I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to grab the blade, but I grabbed the outside part, and it was really hot for jigsawing the stick. But I think jigsaw is supposed to be used for plywood, maybe to make designs.
It's all wood
to make holes in things. But as somebody said. Reid talking about being the least handy person ever while talking to Dusty is very ironic.
Yeah,
it is. That is true. I think I'm the worst. You might think you're the worst, but I think I'm definitely the worst. But
I wouldn't even know where to begin. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Yeah. And it's interesting because my dad is very, very handy. Like my dad will be, really? we need a new little side table. Oh yeah, cool. And then like 3 hours later, he's like, "Okay, here it is." I'm like,
give a tree.
Went out to the garage and did it. Okay,
man. So that kind of weirds me out a little bit because my dad is also very unhandy. Like he thinks he's handy, but he's horrible at it. Nothing he makes ever lasts. It's just that type of thing. So that's weird that your dad was good at that stuff and it didn't trickle down.
Yeah, I don't know. I was never really good at it, so I guess as a result, never really overly interested.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've learned enough, I can do some minor things around the house so I don't have to call somebody, just to do a few things. But no, like my dad, back when we used to live north of Evansburg, like he finished the basement pretty much by himself. I think he might have got somebody to look at the electrical, to make sure it was okay. But like he did all the
to check over his work to make sure it was okay.
Like he just. Whereas I would be like, I wouldn't even know where to begin with some of that type of stuff. Now I'm much better in the kitchen, which I guess as a single person is important. Like if
that helps.
Like I'm not when it comes to cooking or a recipe. Now I probably don't cook as much as I used to. Probably the most I cooked was when I lived in Lloyd, actually. But like if you gave me a recipe at 2 p.m. and said this has to be done by 6, I would not be intimidated. I would dive in and try to do it. I'd go to the grocery store.
What's your signature dish?
I don't even know if I have one anymore, and it's probably not that complicated. But I went through a stretch where I would try where I would try things. I remember in Lloyd, I made some sort of it was like a beef wrapped, like a thin slice of beef, I think, and it was wrapped around ham and had like hard-boiled egg in it, and then you fried it or something, and you actually had to tie it with a string and tie it together. And I made it all by myself. Like sometimes in Lloyd, I would have like a friend or two over if I trying to actually cook something, but I just made by myself. And then when I saw my mom and dad on a weekend when we were all together, because obviously we weren't all in the same place at that time, I made this for my mom and dad, and my mom was like, "How do you know how to make this?" I was like, "Well, I tried it a few weeks ago." She's like, "Wait a minute, like you tried this on yourself, like all this multiple meats and layered meat, and you tying it with the string, and then you got to cut the string off once it's cooked." So that was probably one of the more complex, multiple stage things that I wish I could do what it was called. There's probably some real culinary person.
Oh, a real fancy name for that. Yeah. Jeez, that's a people are calling for a build off between myself and Reid.
Yeah.
We do one of those things where we get the we do one of those things where can't you buy, don't only do it for charity where you can buy like a little birdhouse.
Yeah, right.
And then you just have to nail it together.
Yeah.
That'd probably be the extent of what I could do.
No tree in.
Yeah. That's probably but yeah, I mean that would be fun. That's something you know what? That's video content. That's bonus video content. We can do that at some point. Hey, Reid, just quick. We're gonna get to the Oilers and Preds, but just to follow up on Trev's beef because I know you're a big comic book guy. Did you always think it was ridiculous that people couldn't find out that Bruce Wayne was Batman?
Yeah, well, it's like that with a lot of heroes. Now, I didn't read DC, but obviously the whole Superman thing with just putting on a pair of glasses, and then I think wasn't his hair slicked back, and then he had a curl when he was Superman or something like that. Yeah, Bruce Wayne and Batman. I mean, I read a lot of Spider-Man, and it was it's always the restaurant that he's at that gets attacked, or it's always the charitable event that he's taking photos for the Daily Bugle. And then, the villain comes in and it's then, his friends or his girlfriend. I was like, "Peter, where were you? Spider-Man was here." "Oh, I went and hid in the bathroom." "Oh, I was taking photos from behind that tree and I didn't think to help you guys." He always disappears and comes back, right at the same time. So yeah, but I mean, you really have to suspend your disbelief. I think maybe more than any other medium of storytelling for comic books. Like you really have to suspend your disbelief. And I got back into reading Spider-Man about 6 or 7 years ago now, after having not really read regularly since my early 20s, and I was stunned at how quickly the stories move along. Like there was this one thing, it was Spider-Man and then Dr. Octopus and the Green Goblin were against Spider-Man, but they were also trying to screw over each other while they were trying to beat Spider-Man. And like one of them put some virus in the other one's technology to mess with it. And I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a great storyline. Like this will I really want to see what happens." And then 2 pages later, they confronted each other, and the one that got the virus was like, "By the way, I found your virus and I re-engineered it, and now it's against you." I'm like, "Oh, 2 pages, that's resolved. Okay, gotta just keep driving it forward here."
Reid Wilkins with us on the show this morning. Of course, the Reid Wilkins Show every day from 3 until 6. Right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. So I had a nap yesterday, and I popped back up to the kitchen. And in our house, we always have the YouTube channel going. And I heard you guys being like, "We get to this many thumbs up, we'll get to the summer." And I was like, "Okay, what's this?" And then I saw the video of the double birds, and she's talking, and I was like, "Wait, what's it?" And then I settled in. Bring people up to speed on what happened on your show yesterday.
Okay, so we were playing. Well, Jay. Because we have fired up for Jemko.
Yes.
And Jay said, "I want to talk about Stetcher and Perry." And he really liked how Stetcher, gave Perry a big pat in the penalty box. And I didn't even notice it. Obviously I didn't see it at the game, but I didn't even notice when I was watching the replays of the fights. When Farabee goes into the penalty box, there's an Oilers fan right behind the penalty box just enthusiastically giving Farabee and Couturier the finger. Like not just holding it up, like partially standing and like gesturing forward and back with both fingers. And then I think Jay said something about it, or somebody wrote in, and then the Coob just looped the video, so that people on YouTube can just see it while we're talking about it. And then I was like, oh, geez, yeah, like she's really giving the finger. So somebody, I'm sorry for forgetting the names, but somebody wrote into the nasty chat, that's a young lady that my son was at the game with. So live during the show, I said, get her to call. Like use the text line or email me. Don't put the number in the YouTube in the nasty chat, but like get her to call into the show. So as the show went on, we got her number and we called her and we interviewed her about flipping the double bird. And she's an 18-year-old named Summer who was there on a friendship activity, platonic, not a date. But that's the one thing the nasty said. He said, my son went to the game with this woman and I'm not sure if they're romantic or not. So I asked her live on air, what is the situation with the gentleman you were at the game with? And she was like, no, we're just friends. But she just didn't like the way the Flyers were behaving. And, thought, I can't remember who she said thought was being whiny because he had a little bit of a cut or something like that. And she just...
Her energy level was unreal.
Oh, yeah. As soon as she came on, because I love those types of interviews, and I've done that a few times before. But you gotta sense right away if the person is into it, and I could definitely tell that was going to be an entertaining interview. But yeah, it's like she became an Oilers fan a couple of years ago, and they got I can't remember how they got the tickets, and away they went. So yeah, the Birds of Summer is now what. I think she's going to get a shirt made.
That's a great handle. The Birds of Summer. That was good. The Oilers get the Preds tonight. You've been covering this team for a long time. McDavid and Draisaitl just torched the Preds. Do you expect the same thing to happen tonight, or is a desperate Nashville team who's winless on the season flip the script a bit?
Yeah, I would expect a pretty competitive game, especially for this stage of the season. I would think, and we had Hal Gill on the show yesterday, and he just talked about Andrew Burnett moving lines around and trying to find something that works, probably like Knobloch was trying to do with some of his changes and then sitting Draisaitl down for a while. I would expect maybe a bit of an angry game, guys, quite frankly. Like I hope, too, because they're more entertaining, especially in October. Like I hope it's a noisy game. You know what I mean? Like I hope there's body checks, and I don't know if there's going to be fighting. I mean, fighting is still pretty rare, but I would hope that the Oilers continue what they did in the final two periods against Philadelphia. And quite frankly, I'd still like to see a little more passion from some of the guys higher in the lineup. Yeah. I mean, I know they ultimately got the heroic goals against Philadelphia, but I really thought it was the Henriques and Browns and Janmarks and Stetchers of the world that gave a spark on Tuesday night by, I think, simplifying what they were doing on the attack and playing in straight lines, and then Stetcher obviously, just initiating that fight. Nashville's a good team. I mean, we did our Stanley Cup picks, and me somewhat to be different, but also because I do think they're going to be good. I actually picked them to win the cup. I mean, they got a good, and I just think Nashville's they've been a good organization. I mean, they've never really been terrible. I know they've missed the playoffs, but they've always been very competitive, and adding Stamkos and Marshall was huge. They have O'Reilly. I mean, they still have Forsberg. They still have Saros. They still have Yossi. And then you look at their other forwards, you kind of say, well, okay, who are the true support guys? But then I also think, yeah, but who's the true, like, borderline NHLer that's on the fourth line? They're just solid. So yeah, I don't think the Oilers are going to torch them, though I hope that there's a little more passion from the big guys, but I think it's going to be a pretty spirited game.
You find out what it is? Did you?
Well, there's a couple of names here. There's Brocchioloni or Brocchioloni or a Pulpitone.
Was it a Pulpitone?
Do any of those ring a bell for you?
I'm sorry, guys. You could probably give me 1,000 words and I wouldn't remember what I made. I'm really sorry. It was meat, though. It wasn't vegetable-based.
Meat, ham, and egg.
Isn't broccolini little broccoli?
Well, that's what I was thinking, too.
This is something else. What's it?
Brocchiolini or...
Oh, sorry.
Something. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation myself here, but I wouldn't mind a slice, Reid, if you ever...
Yeah, let's just say it was that. Let's just say I made that. Sure.
Give it a shot.
Reid, we appreciate the time, buddy. Thanks a lot for popping on, and we'll see you later today when you get it.
All right. Thanks for having me.
There you go. That's Reid Wilkins. How good is that segment? Hey? Man, Reid's a beauty.
We had to talk hockey, didn't we?
Yeah, we had to get there at some point.
I love the casual conversation.
I love one of my favorite things about the new Reid Wilkins show, 3 to 6 every single day right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Many of you have probably checked it out. I think once you listen to it once or twice, it should and will become a part of your daily routine. Like, it's that good. I like when he does his voices.
That was a real good
I like when he does his
impersonation.
voices. His voices are good. Starzilla says, guys, the birds of summer is Esty worthy. It was a great interview. She was great. The guys asked good questions. It was a lot of fun. If you didn't see that, that was in the right near the end of their show yesterday. Of course, we got a jam-packed day today here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Happy to provide you with basically around-the-clock coverage. Oilers and Preds. We'll dive into that. Orange and Blue Breakfast coming up here in about 20. After us today, the hangout, Tommy Gazzola's in. Jolene Latimer from The Score's in. She's actually been here since 7.
Prepping for the hangout.
Yeah. She's
going to school them.
I think Tommy told her she's hosting today. She got in at 7. She's been working in the hangout room for like an hour.
Doing
already.
mock shows.
Yeah, Tommy's going to roll in at like 9:03. Be like, hey, Jolene, is the show ready? She doesn't even know how to work our programs, but she's learning them right now. It's very impressive. So hang out from 9 to 11. Lock shop today from 11 to 12. 2 guys in the goalie from 12 to 1. EST afternoons with Hernan Salas and local Sportsnet analyst Joaquin Gage from 1 to 3. And then the Reid Wilkins show from 3 to 6. And, actually, Reid Wilkins show today 3 to 5. GCL Diesel pregame show 5 to 6.
Cross.
And then the postgame to follow. Yep. So we've got you covered here on Edmonton Sports Talk. If you would like to play Kind of Easy Trivia right now, we need a contestant for Kind of Easy Trivia. And you know what? If you text in, pick up the phone call. What was the name? Who did we get? What was the name?
Very nice, Roger.
Roger. Okay, congratulations to Roger, who picked up his phone today after many of you didn't. Roger qualified for the EST flyaway to LA. Trev described him as very nice Roger. So congratulations to very nice Roger. You're one step closer. Sorry we didn't get to you, but we were smack dab in the middle of some Spider-Man talk with Reid Wilkins. How are we supposed to get out of that?
He got in. Roger got in.
You know what? I'm going to ask Reid Wilkins to start drawing, like illustrating and writing EST comic books. We all have a special power and it's all that stuff. That would be a lot of fun.
One-on-ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be a good time. Anyway, if you want to play Kind of Easy Trivia today, gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual up for grabs. Just text the boys right now, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. If you'd like to play today, possibly win yourself a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's.
Then be by the phone.
Yeah, and pick up.
After you text.
Pick up. On the way in hour number 3, Greg Wyshynski is going to be by just after 8:30 this morning. We'll get his thoughts on where the Preds are at right now. Orange and Blue Breakfast around 8:20. 3 questions too many. Kind of easy trivia. Scalding hot takes for Claiborne Services, who is also bringing you this update right now. Claiborne Services, if you're looking for work, they are hiring all the time. They are busy. They need people. www.claiborneservices.com. Rick's got more on that after the update.
Oilers on the road for a pair beginning tonight in Nashville against the 0-3 Predators. We'll get you set. Tom Gazzola will be live from Hudson's Wide Ave for the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Coverage starting at 5 o'clock. It's one of 11 games around a busy NHL evening. Last night, Avalanche remain winless. They suffer a 5-3 loss to the Bruins, dropping the Colorado Avalanche to 0-4. Utah falling in overtime 5-4 to the Ducks. Leafs knocking off the Kings 6-2. And the Penguins over the Sabres 6-5 in overtime. Sidney Crosby, but the overtime winner, notching his 1,600th career point. Join me tonight at the Central Casino Sports Bar Lounge as we kick off Week 7 in the NFL. Broncos visiting the Saints. It'll be your next chance to score some sweet NFL merch and the world-famous smoked brisket cheesesteak on special throughout the evening. Major League Baseball playoffs continue later today. In the ALCS, the Yankees take a 2-0 lead to Cleveland. First pitch, 3:08. Last night, the Dodgers shutting out the Mets from Citi Field 8-0. They lead the NLCS 2-1. Game 4 later tonight. First pitch, 6:08. Oil Kings welcome in the Blades tonight from Rogers Place. The club will then hit the road for a 9-game trip beginning Sunday in Red Deer. AJHL action from last night. Bonnyville shutting out Fort Mac 1-0, while Lloyd went on the road in Camrose 5-2. Action resumes tomorrow with 3 games. Take your career to the next level with Claiborne Services. They're hiring all positions, including journeyman bricklayers and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind knowing they are an industry leader in safety. For more, check out www.claiborneservices.com or make it easy and call Jeff 780-910-6728.
didn't you ever tell why you don't start so well? You kept saying that it's alright. We just need to play our game right. Then you took us all by surprise. You were ready to contend, playoff time again. It was the Kings first, they looked to waste. Then the Canucks, man, wasn't it great? A few beacon stars and then lost 2 former flames. Now in my head, I think this is a Stanley Cup team. Goaltending's tied and the scoring's deep. Best team in the league. Best team in the league. I think this is the team.
Jason in Leduc, best team in the league. He sings better. He sings better than I do. It is the Nielson Show. We are brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. It is a game day. The Edmonton Oilers taking on the Nashville Preds. Not that we already didn't have a show that was jammed enough, but Jonty in Victoria just emails me the little ditty for when Will is on. If you missed it, turn your headlights on. Atif had submitted a "Turn Your Headlights On" song.
Oh,
which was not his best work.
Okay. He's
Anyway,
on a roll, isn't he?
Jonty has sent in a "Turn Your Headlights On" Atif remix. We have to have it. I mean, we have to get to it. It's just simple. The third hour of the show just got a little bit more busy.
Bam.
Which is fine. We'll get to it. It's locked and loaded. We'll play kind of easy trivia, then we'll get into it. Nielsen Show brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot with Daniel and the dream team out there at South Fort Chev. Visit their website, www.southfortchev.com. We're coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio this morning. All right, who's going to play kind of easy trivia today? Who do we have? Who's going to try to get this gift certificate?
Big G picked up his phone.
Big G picked up. Trev, you're still bitter about it, eh?
Yeah. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, you're going to be okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
What frustrates you more? 6, 7 people not picking up when you call them for the EST flyway, or the Oilers 0-3 start before the win?
Honestly, probably the people not picking up the phone. I don't get that. I don't get it.
It doesn't make sense.
Because it's like seconds after they text, I call them. And then they text back right away saying, I just missed you. It's like, yeah, like, well, what were you doing between that, 5 seconds? Every single time it happens. So I don't get it, especially today. 7 people, I think I called. So,
Trev's got bonus beef.
He's got
bonus beef right here.
Anyway, but it's all good.
All right.
Big G.
Somebody get this guy a Popeye's chicken sandwich.
And when we call, it's a random number. It doesn't say Edmonton Sports. You shouldn't be
it's just a
expecting
random
a call.
number, yeah.
So if you do text in and then a random number calls you, chances are it's probably us.
Now, we
take the gamble.
We have recently purchased the equipment to set up our landline because we do have a landline here. Maddie has picked up the equipment. So I think at that point, if we're calling from the landline eventually, you will see it from Edmonton Sports Talk.
That'd be sweet.
But I know, wouldn't it be cool?
I mean,
I just sit here and call myself all the time and pick up, hello, who's this? It's Dustin from Edmonton Sports Talk. All right, Mr. Mike's Kind of Easy Trivia. Let the festivities begin. You're invited to Mr. Mike's Fiesta Fusion. Celebrate the flavors of their new Mexican and Spanish-inspired features like patatas bravas, fusion feast platter, chili lime ribeye, feature drinks, and more. Plus, $1 from every feature entree sold will help nourish a hungry child through a local breakfast program, which is awesome. Stays in the community. Great idea from our partners over at Mr. Mike's. Join the Fiesta Fusion at your local Mr. Mike's. Eat locally. Enjoy casually. Sorry, who's playing again? I totally forgot. Big G. Big G's going to play today. Needs to get 3 of 5 correct to win that gift certificate. Big G, good morning. You ready to roll?
Yeah, you bet.
All right, here we go. I'll start the ticker. I have to read the first question. Good luck, man. Who do the Edmonton Oilers play tonight?
Nashville.
Name one forward on the Preds.
Yosi. Oh, no. Pass.
Who won last night, the Mets or the Dodgers?
Dodgers.
Which city is home to the NFL Saints?
Sorry?
Which city is home to the NFL Saints? Oh, my God. Big G, sorry, man. We got to go to the other ticker. I mean,
Yeah.
That is the ticker too short?
When he comes back, that pause, and then Sorry?
I know. Did I stumble on which city's home to the NFL
Maybe
Saints?
the connection. I don't know.
I tried
heard
to
it
move
perfectly
quickly for
fine.
him.
I'm in the same room with you, though, so I can't. Let's walk this back again. He passed on the Preds forward. He dithered and then passed. He said Yossi.
Said Yossi and then pass. I thought when he said pass, I was like, okay, he's got it. We're going to move ahead.
Yeah.
Which team won last night? He hesitated too long. Said Dodgers.
8-0.
And then which city's home to the NFL Saints? Pardon? Or whatever he said. What?
Sorry?
Man.
Ian Ferguson says Big G got screwed. Fergie's prostate. I don't know how he got
he
screwed.
missed on a couple.
He said sorry. He didn't hear something. And
Now listen. With what could be a slight delay on the phone.
And the ticker.
It's only fair if we... What, were you here when we measured tickers? Yeah.
Yeah, well... No, I wasn't here.
So
Nope.
you didn't miss it. On last Friday, you weren't
Okay.
here. Fraser was here. So Trev and I are doing the show. We measured my ticker versus his ticker, and his ticker's 4 seconds longer.
Well, then...
So when I'm not here and you guys play kind of easy trivia, they get an extra 4 seconds.
Yep.
You know what?
Mine's a little bigger.
I'm just going to make the decision right now as president of Edmonton Sports Talk. Moving forward from this day onward, we will use extended ticker for kind of easy trivia.
Put in the phone, Brett.
We have to. Now, with that being said, because of this, I've tightened up my questions. Are all like 5-worders. This will allow me to expand the questions a little bit.
And you saying these faster leads him to say sorry. Because he's not
Exactly.
understanding. You're trying to get it all in.
It has to. We have to move forward with long ticker.
Yeah. What are we doing here?
4 second difference.
Get him back on the phone.
Anyway, he still loses today. But we're moving forward with long ticker. That's it. I'm done with... over at the old place, we'd have people miss twice a year.
Oh, it'd be
Now we're
nothing.
getting 3 a month.
And we'd laugh because,
it's hilarious.
Yes.
Not now. Now it's just sad. Now it's just sad. La Bamba guy over in the nasty chat says those 4 seconds wouldn't have helped him, let's be honest.
Well, Presidente says, no, he can't take a whole bunch of time on one question. If you don't know the answer, pass.
No, we're going to long ticker. We're moving to long ticker. That's it. Okay. Trevor, you rattled by moving to long ticker?
Oh,
It's your ticker.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I guess we'll use it.
You sound sad.
Nope.
There's only one thing, boys, that can get this show back on track. We have not heard it ourselves. I usually trust what John T brings to the table.
Yes.
He has emailed us the Turn Your Headlights On remix from John T and Victoria from a T song. John T, if this gets the show back on track, we owe you one, buddy. Oh, yeah.
Turn your headlights on, turn your headlights on. When you're on the Anthony and Day going 100 miles an hour. Turn your headlights on, turn your headlights on. When you're in the fog so you can see where you're going. Turn your headlights on, turn your headlights on. When you're driving around the countryside and trying to avoid deer coming out of the moon. Turn your headlights on, turn your headlights on. The others better turn their headlights on so they can lay a smack down on their candy asses. Zach to come when you're eating chicken wings in the contest and you're about to win. You better turn your headlights on so you don't finish in second place. Turn your headlights on, turn your headlights on. This song was dedicated to Will Frazier. Turn your headlights on.
I have to say, the beat
Wow.
is awesome. I still think a Teef song kills it, though.
I didn't see that Zach verse coming with the wings. I mean, they're just out of
it
nowhere.
was a ridiculous
Has
song.
nothing to do with the headlights. I love it.
You're gonna have to bring this up with the Teef if he rolls into Thursday Night Football tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really like the turn your headlights on, turn your headlights on, but it's all the other stuff. You know, the beat's good, the turn your headlights on part's good. All the rest of the song, a Teef just it's
Zach, if
tough.
you finish second in a wing eating
That's
contest down at the
turn your headlights
turn
on.
that's sure.
Turn your headlights on.
It fits.
Yeah,
Adam
John,
Zeal says, nope, not the best work.
No, but look, John T tried,
he
man.
spruced it up. Yeah. It's,
let's be honest. Let's just play the first 5 seconds of it, first 10 seconds of it again. It starts well, but a Teef's main lyrics kind of ruin it. We could use this for something else.
Turn your headlights on, turn your headlights on.
It's good up to here.
The Anthony and daikon.
It is Waddy and Cloverdale. It's a little primacy, like the South Park tune. This unsigned text, Jaunty the Turd Polisher strikes again. Get that on the Achy Breaky podcast.
Jaunty the Turd Polisher.
We could do a half-hour breakdown on that puppy, eh?
Turn your headlights on. Turn your headlights on. That's where it has to. You just got to loop that.
Yes.
Jaunty, just loop the turn your headlights part on for 35 seconds. We got a banger. I think that will work.
Smelling esty.
All right, let's get into 3 questions too many today. Brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda. Lieutenant Eric, do you have a liner for the segment?
Yes, 3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where he goes around to every single vehicle and lot and turns the headlights on every single morning. Park Mazda, your dealer for life.
But this is Mitch in the morning, gets in, sits down at the desk, gets up, puts on his salesman coat
and a swim cap,
and heads on out to the lot. Everyone's like, oh, there's Mitch again. He's going to drop some prices right now.
Turn your headlights on. Turn your headlights on.
Yeah, there we go. Just loop that. Let's just do that.
That's all we need.
That works. That works. Do you have a Twitter account?
Yes, at Lieutenant_Eric and Edmonton Sports Talk as well, at YEG Sports Talk. Give us a follow. It is busy season. Everything and anything, including the EST flyaway to LA. If you want to know the details on that, it's nicely pinned to the top of the feed. But everything else going on regarding the station at YEG Sports Talk. The drive for 5,800 continues. 5,784. So 16 away.
Yeah, you're a little stuffed up today, eh?
Can you tell?
Yeah. Well, on the updates, people are like, Eric, are you okay?
What am I supposed to do?
What are you supposed to do?
Give me a lobotomy?
Atif says, guys, I have to dig in right now. Sorry, everyone. As Penner Pancake says, Atif is heading back into the studio.
Back in the lab.
Back in the studio, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, question number 1. These aren't the questions I updated last night. Did I not? Where were the questions that I grabbed from Twitter last night? I might have missed this.
Raider Jesse says, just end the show early. Try again tomorrow.
All right. Let's go. We need some questions right now. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Over in the nasty chat. Oilers questions, non-sports questions, any questions. Let's get to those right now at 780-218-99. Here's one that came in. All right, this is question number 1. We need question number 2, question number 3. Guys, Reid Wilkins is a Spider-Man guy. You talked about making a comic. Who would be the leader of the villains? Who would be the leader of the heroes here at Edmonton Sports Talk? If we had an EST comic, I mean, let's be honest. Awanik's the leader of the villains. Has to be.
Yeah, I didn't.
Who are you going to say?
Gager.
Gager, the leader of the villains. What did he do to you?
Nothing. No. He's a good. I feel like he'd play the part very well.
Yeah.
He's got a good sinister laugh, low voice.
The leather.
He could almost be Awanik's muscle.
That's what it is.
Right? Awanik sits there like Dr. Claw.
Yeah, he's like,
and
what are we
going to
do today?
Yeah.
It's like, well, we could do this. That's how it would work.
Okay, so Awanik would lead the villains.
Awanik up top in that fellatio
suite.
suite.
Let's just break this down here quickly. Send your other questions to 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999.
Zach might be a wannabe bad guy.
I'm putting bad guys versus
bad guy.
Good guys. Bad guys, we've got Awanik and Gager.
Yep.
I feel like I'd fall on the good guy side.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
You're
I
the
think all three of us.
to,
I think you can throw all of
Trev,
us.
I throw you on. You are interesting because with the hair, I mean, are you Thor or are you a bad guy type of thing? You know, like,
Thor, give me a break here.
Where do you want to be designated? Good guy or bad guy?
I could be like a mercenary.
I feel like he'd be like Ultron, kind of middle of the pack.
Okay,
I don't really know what's going on.
He'd be like Bishop.
Let's do this right here. We'll put Eric in the middle because we got Jasmine we can slide in here as well. So,
Would you call me Ultron?
Tommy Gazzola, good guy sign.
Tommy Gazzola, good guy.
James Spader.
Reid has to be
a good guy.
Reid has to be a good guy.
Yeah.
Glue guy could be a bad guy.
Oh, no, he's the goodest guy.
He's the goodest guy. Okay. All right. Glue guy.
Are you kidding me?
Well, we got the bad guys are just going to be Awanik and Gager.
Yeah. I think that's sounds about
Do we
right.
make Jasmine a villain? Like the
She's
Scarlet
always so
Witch,
happy.
you know? Like,
yeah. She spends a lot of time in the hangout with Iwanik. I mean, they're conniving in there and inspiring.
That's true. All right. Sorry,
Awanik.
Jasmine.
But a cool bad guy.
By default, we're putting Zach on the bad guy side. They get Zach. Bad guy gets Zach.
Yeah.
Like a foot soldier.
And then who are we missing? Oh, Hernan.
Oh, you got Tommy on there?
Oh, well, Hernan with his rants could be bad guy side
Hernan's
for
a
sure.
bad guy.
Yeah, Hernan's a bad guy.
He's bad.
All right, so there we go.
This is fun.
This is a bad guys versus good
Best
guys
question
EST
ever.
comic. Good guy side, Dusty, Trev, Tom, Reid, and Glue Guy. Bad guy side, Awanik, Gager, Jasmine, Zach, and Hernan. And Lieutenant Eric is in the middle.
In the middle.
Duck Dad says
betweener.
Tommy tried to kill Reid. No way he's a good guy. Does that factor into anything?
Yes,
Does
wow.
that factor into anything? We got to kind of.
Whoa, you're right.
The universes are,
Can't, well, we can't. You're right. By default, Tommy can't be on the good guy side. He's got one attempted murder on his belt.
Undercover type of.
All right, so we move Tom over, and then we'll bring Jasmine over to the
People
good
are
side.
saying, yeah, Tommy's a villain.
Yeah, let's
Tommy's a
flip
villain.
Jasmine and Tommy. So, Awanik, Gager, Tommy, Zach, and Hernan are the villains. Dusty, Trev, Jasmine, Reid, and Glue Guy are the good side.
I like it. It's perfect.
And then Lieutenant Eric's in the middle.
Big Maple says Tommy equals Dr. Evil Thighs.
How about no? Krager is in it. Says with Tommy Shorts, he's definitely not a good guy.
That's a good point.
Scald and Gore thinks Jasmine would be the lady who plays both sides. Tommy is a good guy until he puts on his shorts. Then he becomes a villain.
That's his.
Oh, Awanik and Gage are EST's Pinky in the Brain. What we're gonna do today, Brain? Same thing we do every day, Gager. That's a good one as well.
Cass would be a good guy. He'd be the Hulk because he is. That's exactly what Cass is, right? He was an enforcer, greatest guy. But then you get him mad and he turns green.
Yeah. Well, he used that line.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm mad.
Question number 2. Let's go to this one from 7,000. No, where is it here? Bones. Where do you guys land on costumes at work with Halloween just around the corner?
Oh, I thought just in general.
Yeah. I think costumes here will be fun because we're a visual medium.
I'll bring my costume again, like last
Are
year.
you going to go Trevor Lawrence mask?
I can bring the Trevor Lawrence mask. I have a gorilla mask. I got all. I like
gorilla
a good
mask
mask.
would be fun.
A good mask is good. We do have the visual now, so that's we can incorporate that.
I got my costume pretty much ready to go. About 85% of it ready, locked and loaded. Halloween falls on a show day this year, right? It's
and I'll be
Thursday?
at Central Casino Sports Bar and Lounge Thursday night.
That's good too.
So if you want some treats and some tricks,
Trev, do you have your? Do you have your?
I don't
costume
have a
ready?
costume.
Start thinking.
I actually have someone who's coming in for me that day. He's a close friend of mine. I've been working on this for quite some time, and I think the Nasties are going to like it.
Okay, wait. He's bringing in a costume for you, or what? What's this?
No. I'm not bringing in a costume. I'm bringing in someone's going to be here for me that day.
an alter ego.
No.
This is a costume.
Yeah.
No, it's not a
He's doing a
costume.
bit here.
No. This
What?
is a close friend of mine. I know him very well, and I think that's all I'm going to say. You Nasties are going to love it. I'm going to leave you on a cliffhanger, severe cliffhanger.
Oh
But
man,
this is going to be cool. You guys are going to be like, whoa, as if Trev knows this guy.
I can't wait for Halloween. So yes, I'm fully on board with costumes at work. I mean, it probably depends on the workplace. Like if you're operating heavy machinery and you've got Hulk gloves on, it's probably not a good idea.
If you're a cop,
Yeah,
I think they should dress up. Wouldn't that be great?
that would be. I mean, that would be
I'd
pretty
get
good.
a ticket.
That would be pretty good. Let's go. Question number 3 comes in from Lucas. If CFL playoffs started today, who would you want to play the least?
It's got to be the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They're the best team. They've had the division wrapped up for months.
This is a classic Riders.
No. I'm
twist.
saying they've
They haven't had the division wrapped up for months. It's
That's what
still not wrapped.
Milt Stiegel told me that. He
It's
said they
still not
mathematically. No, it's they are the best team.
I know you're not going to do it. I'm going to say it. I wouldn't want to play the Riders right now.
The who?
The Riders.
What?
The Saskatchewan Rough
They
Riders.
shouldn't even be in the playoffs.
No, I think they might be the toughest out. Trevor Harris is healthy. They've got a lot of weapons. They got a couple of different options at running back, and they got maybe the best football player in the league in Roland Milligan on the defensive side of the ball. And they could still track down the Bombers. Need some help.
Come
But-
on now. Those are decent
I say
points
the
and all,
Riders.
but
I say the Riders.
that's enough CFL talking.
Yeah, sorry. We should have given you a spoiler. We're going to talk some CFL there. It just came in a last second question. What are you? Who are you up to? Jen is saying, is YouTube Trev going to be Alan Jackson for Halloween?
What?
Yes, you are. You're messing with us right now.
I'm not going to be anyone. I'm bringing in a personal friend of mine. That is it. That's all.
What a twist.
I should have brought this up to Maddie. Because I have to, obviously. But
You got to learn them on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have some training.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Are you not going to tell us before Halloween, or are you going to tell us the bit off the air? Like,
no. I'm not saying anything.
you know,
going in.
Ben knows, and we don't know. We're your buddies too.
Yeah. Yes, Ben knows because he just knows. Okay.
Okay. All right.
That's all it is.
Okay. All right. Let's. If anybody wants guesses on what's going to happen in that chair over there on Halloween, let us know. Let's get into the Orange and Blue Breakfast right now for GCL Diesel. We got Greg Wyshynski coming up. We got Scalding Hot Takes coming up as well. Let's dive into your Orange and Blue Breakfast for GCL Diesel. Of course, the GCL Diesel pregame show goes tonight, 5:00. And I wonder, are we going to stick around a little bit?
There has to be a little bit of cross there.
A little bit of cross. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it works. The Orange and Blue Breakfast brought to you by GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers, those sound cool. Turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They're the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a proud partner here of Edmonton Sports Talk on our show, on the Reid Wilkins show, and of course on the GCL Diesel pre and post game show. Diesel understood. All right, so let's get into your Orange and Blue Breakfast. The Oilers get the Nashville Predators tonight. Your projected lineups for tonight's hockey game. The Nashville Predators still looking for their first win on the season. Ryan O'Reilly between Nyquist and Forsberg. Stamkos with Marchessault and Cole Smith. Tommy Novak, Evangelista, and Jankowski. Sissons, Michael McCarron, and Juuso Parssinen. On the back end, Roman Josi, future Edmonton Oiler, Dante Fabro, Brady Shea with Luke Shen, Jeremy Lazon, and Alexander Carrier, who was going to be an Oiler at one time, but obviously didn't end up being an Edmonton Oiler. Very much rumored at the deadline, though, wasn't he? For the Edmonton Oilers, last time we saw him, led to a victory. McDavid between Hyman and Draisaitl. Nuge with Victor Arvidsson and Podkolzin. Henrique with Brown and Skinner. Loved that line last game. Derek Ryan, Corey Perry, and Matthias Janmark. Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse and Stetcher, Kulak, and Emberson. Let's get into your podium physiotherapy injury report. Guys who aren't tough enough to play hockey tonight. Knee pain from that nagging ACL injury. Trev, you want to throw this up? Hip or shoulder pain slowing you down. Back pain after a long day's work. They've got you covered. Whether it's a sports injury, post-op recovery, or the wear and tear of your everyday life, their expert team is here to get you back on track. Podium Physiotherapy, NHL caliber treatment for the everyday individual. These are our people right here. Book now at podiumphysiotherapy.com. Who do we got, Rick?
For the hometown Preds, Spencer Stastny for personal reasons on the IR, and Austin Roast, undisclosed injury also on the IR. And for the Oilers, Roby Herventi on the IR with a knee, Evander Kane, LTIR with the hip, Carl Berglund and Brady Stonehouse, both undisclosed injuries and also on the IR.
Your key to a victory tonight here in the Orange and Blue Breakfast, presented to you by GCL Diesel.
Key to a victory, keep the momentum going from the, maybe have Stetcher fight somebody in the pregame. You know, as they're walking in. You know, they do that little soccer thing in the back, you know, they're kicking the ball around or whatever. Maybe get Stetcher to pick a fight with a rink attendant or something like that. I'll say shot volume, especially on the power play. Get that thing cooking.
Just start firing pucks on net.
Just get
You're a
pucks
on net guy.
Pucks on net, especially during the PP. Get the PP going. Emotional night. Luke Shen, 1,000th game. They'll be all donning Shen jerseys, skating around.
That's
the
nice.
Preds, and that loss to the Kraken will have them fired up. They'll be doing this for old LS. So it'll be an emotional night there, but...
I know the Oilers kind of own the Preds, but I'm a little nervous for the Oilers tonight. Well, I mean, Nashville's got to win a game at some point.
Yeah.
They got to be able to get up for this one. And if the Oilers aren't emotionally invested early in this game, they're going to find themselves behind again. It's just that simple.
Well, I know the Philly win glossed over a lot of stuff, but I mean, I think there's still a lot of stuff that they need to get right in their game. You did mention the Lions. You're still good with leaving that as it is, and nuclear option up top. Hey, I mean...
Well, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
It didn't do anything.
No, I know.
I think McDavid and Draisaitl were not great together.
The whole first start with Draisaitl, again, shades over a lot of deficiencies, again, that we saw in the lineup. So,
I got a sneaky, worrisome feeling. Now, maybe they end up winning 6-1.
You mentioned the McDavid Draisaitl numbers. Maybe this is the place where they pop. This is where you open the tin.
That's where I'm going to kind of go back around here to my game day prediction. This is the easiest prediction that we've basically ever made in our entire lives, but Draisaitl and McDavid absolutely own the Edmonton Oilers. I will say Leon Draisaitl ends up with a goal tonight and another point. So he'll have his typical 2 points. Easy peasy. We'll get into it a little bit on the lock shop today. But, yeah, what's up with Nashville? We're getting into that. Wyshynski's going to join us coming up just after the update. But we'll figure out what's going on there. It's the Orange and Blue Breakfast brought to you by our partners at GCL Diesel. Diesel understood. Yeah, Colorado also 0-4. They
It's got
lost
to be
last
goaltending
night.
there. I mean, that goal differential, right? Or is it more?
Well, I mean, it might be, they're banged up, and their forward group is not good right now, and they're not getting much goaltending. So, yeah, that usually doesn't work as a recipe for success. Scalding hot takes for Claiborne Services in about 15 minutes. Greg Wyshynski coming up on the other side of this update for sit and sleep. If you are looking for something to sit on or something to sleep on or something to do both on, sit and sleep, they got you covered. Eric's got more on that.
Oilers and Preds tonight down in Nashville. Edmonton will continue the road trip Saturday afternoon down in Dallas. You can join Tom Gazzola tonight live from Hudson's on White. He'll have the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows, coverage starting at 5 o'clock. It's one of 11 games around a busy night in the NHL. Last night, the Leafs over the Kings 6-2. Avalanche fall to 0-4 with a 5-3 loss to the Bruins. Utah drop one in overtime 5-4 to the Ducks. And Evgeny Malkin scoring his 500th goal. Sidney Crosby reaching 1,600 points, also scoring the overtime winner in a 6-5 Pens win over the Sabres. Join me tonight at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. We'll have the Oilers and Preds as well as Week 7 in the NFL. It's the Broncos and Saints, and your next chance to win some NFL merch, the world-famous smoked brisket cheesesteak on special as well. Major League Baseball playoff action returns today with both championship series. The Dodgers last night shutting out the Mets from Citi Field 8-0. They'll now take a 2-1 series lead in today's Game 4. First pitch 6:08. Earlier this afternoon, the Yankees with a 2-0 lead. They'll head to Cleveland. First pitch 3:08. Oil Kings host the Blades this evening. Then the Oil Kings will hit the road for a 9-game trip, which starts Sunday in Red Deer. AJHL action from last night. Bonnyville shutting out Fort Mac 1-0. Lloydminster winning on the road in Camrose 5-2 over the Kodiaks. Action resumes tomorrow with 3 games. The wait is over. Sit and Sleep is now open. Celebrate with 20,000 square feet of savings on the trendiest furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Apply for your Sit and Sleep card today to make no payment for 18 months interest-free and be entered to win your purchase up to $5,000 on furniture and home decor. Next to Planet Fitness, South Edmonton Common.
The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
8:33 on the Nielson Show. Scalding hot takes for Claiborne Services coming up. Nielson Show brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot with our friends at South Fort Chevrolet. The wrap for William Huff still to come as well. The Oilers and the Predators tonight. The Oil had a 4-game homestand to open the season. They go 1-3, getting that overtime win against the Philadelphia Flyers. We'll see if that bumps them up. They've done very well against the Nashville Predators in their last 7 visits to Bridgestone Arena, 5-0-2, and Nashville struggling a bit to start the season. Let's bring in Greg Wyshynski from ESPN. He's our resident New York Mets fan. Wyshynski, how are you doing after that Ohtani bomb to the middle of the second deck in right field last night?
I mean, at that point, it didn't matter anymore, but I'm going tonight.
You are, hey?
Freeze my cojones off up in the upper deck, but going tonight. And you know, they've sort of been an every other game team in this series. So I don't know. It's been a very inspiring run for the Mets. So I am optimistic that they'll figure it out tonight.
Do you dress as Grimace when you go to the game tonight just to stay warm? Just to stay warm.
I don't know. I might have to stuff some cheeseburgers from McDonald's down my pants to just stay warm, stay toasty. I don't know. I was bummed because I thought I had a Mets like ski cap, but I don't. I'm gonna have to just rock a hoodie with a hat tonight, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm encouraged that they'll not lose as badly as I did last night.
Well, enjoy the experience. Best of luck. We'll be cheering for you tonight as we watch the Oilers take on the Nashville Predators. What's going on in Nashville right now? Let's start there. They bring in some pretty good pieces, adding Marchessault and Stamkos. Neither of them have scored. New guys finding their way, or is there more there with Nashville?
Well, Marchessault at least has a couple points, I think. Stamkos doesn't have a point yet, which I think speaks to one of the biggest problems out of the gate for the Predators, not only to the totality of their offense, where I think they only have like 6 goals in 3 games, but they only have 1 power play goal in their first 3 games, which I think is certainly something you wouldn't expect with the assemblage of talent that they have, be it Stamkos, be it Roman Josi, or whomever. So I think, they've got some new players in the mix. That probably takes a little bit of time to coalesce offensively. And so they are one of a few teams in the West that we consider to be amongst the powers, Oilers included, that are off the blocks a little bit slowly.
Let's keep going. The Avalanche, I think we were on the case. Goaltending, forward depth, a few injuries. Do you have anything else to add to the list?
No. I actually think the 2 most important things there are goaltending and the injury situation. I thought the key to the Avalanche this season was to be as average as you can until you get Nichushkin back, until Landeskog maybe comes back, and until Lehkonen comes back. But they've not been able to do that at all. Part of that is goaltending that. We did a goalie tandem ranking on ESPN.com today that I put together, speaking with a panel of experts in the field. And the Avalanche, I think, are 23rd. The idea that Georgiev is just very average, that the kid behind him isn't necessarily NHL ready yet. They go and try to I think they picked Kapanen off waivers from the Jets to try to at least add a little bit of veteran depth. Their goaltending is very underwhelming, and their lineup is very thin. That's what leads to Cale Makar giving mopey emo press conferences after games, talking about they probably would have won if I wasn't here. I'm so terrible.
That was interesting, wasn't it? I mean, there's taking some of the blame, and then there's probably selling it a little bit too much.
I mentioned this on our podcast that dropped this week. The one thing I appreciate him in that press conference or in that media scrum saying that was that it's clear that Nathan McKinnon's leadership has rubbed off on this kid, in the sense of, being so disgusted with defeat and making these proclamations about yourself. If I broke all my sticks and played with a half a stick, it would have been better than, it's not. He was one criticism of somebody eating a Snickers bar away from being Nathan McKinnon in that moment. So I appreciate that he's learned from the best.
Greg Wyshynski with us from ESPN. The Oilers had a 4-game homestand to start the year. They started 0-3. They had to come from behind against Philly and be spurned on emotionally into a game by a Troy Stetcher fight, which we did not have on the bingo card as the early turning point of the season for the Oil. Really liked what I saw from the Flyers, actually. They seem like a group that's going to hang around and probably bother a lot of teams. But your thoughts on the Oilers start, and is it just a matter of, that last game, the bottom 6 guys kind of really pushed them back into the hockey game. It's been somewhat quiet from the top end guys so far. And we saw when the emotion got cranked up in the last game, they got going. So I just don't know if they've re-engaged after the highs and lows of the playoffs last year.
Well, it's hard, right? When you go from the single most pressure-filled situation you can have as a professional hockey player, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, where you're emotionally wrecked, to now, it's like when you're playing old school Nintendo and the game freezes when you're on the final boss and you have to go all the way back to the beginning again. You don't want to have to do that, right? You're at the end. And so there's probably a feeling of, oh my God, we're staring up at this mountain again. We know we'll climb it, but it's just a hassle to have to climb it again. You just want to skip to the end. So there's probably a little bit of that mentally. Listen, this team is stacked, but it's not stacked in the back. I think we can all agree that's
true.
One of the things that we're seeing early on with this team, and I don't think we have to worry about Leon Draisaitl getting benched every few games. They'll figure it out at the top of the lineup. But the Broberg loss, not having as much as he was maligned, a veteran hand in CC back there, those are the types of things that you're looking at early in the season, and you're kind of side-eyeing it and saying, all right, is this going to be a point of concern? As we come out of these first few games, I think the offense will be fine. I think Zach Hyman's going to get going and things like that. But that back end, might be the one where you're looking at it and saying, okay, the worries that we had before the season might be manifesting here.
Just wanted your updated thoughts, Greg, on goaltender interference, as we saw a plethora of examples around the league the other night during the Oilers-Flyers game and as well down in Tampa. Any thoughts? How have you swayed or been changed recently by the events that have gone on?
It's nonsense. It's all nonsense. It's all completely subjective. It's inconsistent from game to game. They've in the past. Look, it's not as I'll say this about the NHL. Like, it's not as if they haven't heard the complaints. It's not as if they haven't heard, whether it's the players or the coaches or the fans saying that the inconsistency in this call across the league is a detriment to the game. The problem is that they've never been able to figure out behind closed doors how to define it better, how to refine the calls, how to create consistency when there are so many variables on every play. So it remains as frustrating and game changing as pass interference in the NFL. I think those two plays are very similar. Both have video review capabilities, and many times you're still left being like, oh, they still blew it, even though they got a chance to look at it again.
If the NHL announced this morning that they were just eliminating video review opportunities for goaltender interference, what would your opinion be on it?
I would be upset, because there are definitely times when the call is obvious and a goal that is scored should be taken off the board. Like, I'm not a Luddite or someone who doesn't believe that we shouldn't use video review to its best capabilities. I think it's misapplied in some cases. I don't think we should use it for offside plays. Who cares? To use another cross-sport example, offside to me is like the strike zone. It's just like sometimes the human eye misses something, and you know what? The end result of that is usually a goal. We can all celebrate it. Great. Scoring is fun. We love scoring. Goalie interference to me is a different case, because you can go in there and you can find a team that did something illegal to allow a goal to be scored. And again, like for me, an offside play, you usually have another 20 seconds or 25 seconds in the zone to rectify the situation. If it's goalie interference, it's a bang, bang play. And I like the idea that you can review it and rectify it. And I like the idea that you can do, a lot of other things with replay. For example, if two teammates whack each other in the head with a stick, it's not an opponent getting the major penalty for it anymore.
Greg Wyshynski with us from ESPN. Another milestone night last night for Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby. 500 goals for Malkin, set up by Crosby. When Crosby scores his 500th, it was set up by Malkin. Crosby also picks up point 1,600. They win in overtime. Malkin with the secondary assist. Crosby the overtime winner. We were talking about the greatest duos in NHL history today, and there's the Gretzky and Curry, and Gretzky and Messier, if you want to view as like a 1-2 punch kind of down the middle. Mario and Jágr. And I pointed out that, like, we saw those guys leave and go elsewhere. All of them. They all got split. Like, the fact that these two guys have been doing it, they both got Conn Smythes. They've won 3 Stanley Cups. They both won Harts. They both won Art Rosses. And they've done it for 19 years. It's just, we haven't seen this. Like, we just haven't seen this.
You're right. We haven't seen it, because when's the last time they won a playoff round?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I saw some stat about how many players in NHL history have scored 500 goals for the same franchise, and I don't know if they're like the only ones or if it's a very short list. But the reason that they were able to do that is because this team has decided to try to prop open its contending window, despite the fact the window is already shut. And you have two guys in this roster that, again, are still very effective players that are doing their thing. Malkin's off to an incredible start. But where does it ultimately lead if the team is top heavy and doesn't necessarily have anything else in the roster that speaks to it being a playoff team? I might eat my words if they make the playoffs, but right now, there's a reason why these guys have been together. It's because they want to be together, and they want to be together maybe to the detriment to whatever the next phase of the Penguins is going to be.
And the Penguins just have to kind of suck that up and allow these guys to
and again, I'm not saying that's wrong. It's the same thing with Washington right now with Ovi, right? Like, people were like, well, what is the next phase of the Capitals going to be? Like, they would be better off right now tanking or doing whatever around Ovechkin to then, try to get to the next phase of the franchise once he retires. But again, these are players that not only have bought championships to their teams, they have made these teams hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like I was just at the Capitals 50th anniversary celebration for their franchise, thinking about where that team was pre-Ovechkin, like post-Yager, pre-Ovechkin. Like they were in the toilet. They were a money loser. And then he comes around and this team is printing money for the next, 2 decades. So I'm all for keeping these guys well past their expiration date. But again, like to do so means that you're sacrificing your growth as a franchise or what the next phase is going to be and pushing that down the line probably like 5 or 6 years.
Hey, last one before we let you go. I'm just curious. Where did the Oilers come out on that goalie duo list?
You know what? I knew you were going to ask me, so I had the article open, and they are 21st. They are sandwiched ahead of the Buffalo Sabres and behind the Washington Capitals.
But ahead of the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, they're ahead of the Colorado Avalanche. Again, I think I spoke to some people that know goaltending more than I do about this, and there was a sense of like our thoughts about Stuart Skinner are clouded with how incredible he played in the last couple of rounds of the playoffs, and really hanging in there and playing tough and being good. But ultimately, like the statistical case for him beyond those happy feelings isn't very strong. and Pickard behind him and Skinner, like that combination is definitely a combination that probably falls just outside the top 20 in the league. But I do think that there is something to be said for how much he battles and how much his play led them to where they ended up in the playoffs last season. But I also think that there is a reasonable question mark as to whether that might have been the best month and a half ish of hockey you're going to get out of him in the playoffs.
Hey, but since we've started having you on video, people are curious. Do you dye your hair even darker, or is that just natural, super dark hair?
No, I definitely throw some color in it, man. Because the problem is that I went gray on the sides, like early, and so when that happened, when I did like video for, I think it was probably Yahoo at the time, and then maybe a little bit of ESPN, people thought I was wearing a toupee. So I'm just like, so what am I? I have 3 choices here. I look like Bob Barker, or I look like I'm wearing a toupee, or I just throw some color in it. And I figured that I'm going to do this until I have that like creepy like dude in his 70s that still throws color in his hair, where he kind of looks like your grandma a little bit in the face, but his hair looks like he's 20. Like if I ever get there, then there's no reason to do it. But for now, just what's the point? Like they make the product, and I think I luckily have enough hair where it's palpable.
You can still do it with the amount of hair you have. It's
looking great.
Yeah,
fantastic.
So well. Exactly.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you next week, man.
All right, take care.
There you go. That's Greg Wyshynski. Had to ask him about the hair because it's remarkably dark all around.
Fergie's prostate asks me every Thursday at Centric City Sports Bar Lounge. Now we know.
I mean, he's not hiding it.
No, he's a very confident man.
Like he said, the product exists.
A little salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Hey. I want to see him as Bartman tonight at Citi Field. Hey, can you imagine that? Like it's Wyshynski sitting there. He catches the controversial ball or something. It's Wyshynski. God. You know by the
I'm
hair.
here for that storyline.
Right?
Hey, we're 9 likes away from changing 300, so hammer that for us. If you're watching over on YouTube, sub to the channel. We have hit 10.4K, making that push towards 11,000 subs, so we'd love to support there. Many of you still watch and don't sub, so give us a sub over there. Has Gager connected? Nope. He's not around for Scalding Hot Takes?
No sign of Gager.
Where is this guy?
Unlike Gager.
Where is he?
Summon him.
Let's
maybe he took that evil talk hit.
Let's just see if he's here. If not, I think Ben might have to judge today.
Holy heck!
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I'll give Gager 2 seconds just to see if he's going to connect. But if not, Ben, Ben's been sitting here all morning watching. He will judge Scalding Hot Takes today if Gager is.
What his scoring system's like?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we'll have to see. We got the wrap coming up as well.
There he is.
There he is.
He's waiting.
There he is.
I don't want to bring him in.
Prowling around.
You don't want to bring him in?
Nope.
You're worried about the take judging.
I'll bring him in.
All right, we'll get to Scalding Hot Takes. Lieutenant Eric is the defending champion.
Yes.
Scalding Hot Takes. Oh, the mitt is back up for grabs.
It's in play.
Scalding Hot Takes brought to you by Claiborne Services. Take your career to the next level with Claiborne Services. They are hiring all positions, including journeyman bricklayers and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind knowing that they are an industry leader in safety. That's one thing that they very much emphasized when I was meeting with them, that they are an industry leader in safety. They set the standard when it comes to safety. Visit www.claiborneservices.com or make it easy and just give the AM Nasty on the staff. I think there's more than just one, but give Jeff a call, 780-910-6728, or you can text him, say, hey, man, want to hire me? At 780-910-6728.
Winky face.
And also, Atif, your next song, send to Jeff at 780-910-6728. All right, let's bring in the judge. You're all rise.
Yeah.
Joaquin Gage is in the house for Scalding Hot Takes.
There he is.
Gager, how you doing, buddy?
Ooh, look at that.
Oh.
Wait a sec. Is that Gager muted, or do we have him muted?
There you go.
All right,
Yeah.
Gager, there we
Yeah.
go. Hey, are
I'm
you
there.
next? Are you next to Kenny Rogers Chicken? Did you move? What's going on here?
I thought I'm just going with the evil theme.
Yep.
Tonight.
Yeah, that
the
makes
evil
sense.
judge.
That makes sense. All right, let's get into Scalding Hot Takes. Trev, you got the bed over there?
1 second.
Trev's got the bed. He's got all the buttons. He's ready to go. Lieutenant Eric will go first as the defending champion. I will go second, and you two, Trev, will have the hammer today. A chance to deliver with the hammer. Are we all ready to go? Gager, you good? You got your scoring system set up? All right, Trev, you ready?
Born
ready. The Oracle. Woo. Rick, you're good to go. Okay,
Yeah,
let's do
coming
it.
for you, Your Honor.
Scalding Hot Takes for Claiborne Services. Let's do it. Here we go.
Time now for Scalding Hot Takes.
Formula One should move its schedule back so that it doesn't clash with the NFL.
Hot take alert.
Draisaitl has so much success scoring in Nashville that bachelorette parties are jealous.
That's a hot take.
The Dark Knight is the worst superhero movie of all time.
Careful. That take's hot.
NHL refs aren't that bad. It's just a tough rule book to enforce.
The hottest of takes.
If Troy Stetcher keeps playing like this, the Oilers will give him $9.25 million.
Wow, scalding hot take.
Death, taxes, and Leon Draisaitl leading the league in giveaways.
Hot take alert.
The Tampa Bay Rays should play next season at the Big O. It has a roof.
That's a hot take.
The Oilers' penalty kill has been burned so many times this season, you'd think it was a turkey dinner at Trev's house.
Careful. That take's hot.
Stuffing is the only thing good about a turkey.
The hottest of takes.
The Oilers own the Predators so hard, slack-jawed tyrannosaurs are jealous.
Wow, scalding hot take.
The Oilers' power play is so dry to start the year, you'd think it was a turkey dinner at Trev's house.
Hot take alert.
Sweet sauce is the only thing good about a donair.
That's a hot take.
The only reason Brendan Botcher is playing second for Brad Gushu because no one wants to play under him because he's a big jerk.
Careful. That take's hot.
Prior to the Stetcher fight, the Oilers looked so soft and gross, you'd think it was stuffing at a turkey dinner at Trev's house.
The hottest of takes.
Hernan is only...
Go to the judge, Joaquin Gage. Stream stop. Oh, we're back. We're back. Quick connection issue. We're back. Gager, who do we got?
Really quickly, it was a runaway. Dusty, you did it.
Yeah, you nailed him. You cooked him.
I would like to say thank you to Gager for giving me this. I would also like to apologize for Trev for mocking the turkey dinner that you were very sad about just a few days ago.
Never telling you about my supper again.
But you set it up real nice. So I was scrambling on takes last night, and then I thought, well, what has happened this week? And I remember Trev just being like, our turkey was dry, the stuffing sucked, and I said, okay, I'm gonna have some fun.
You know what else is dry? Trev's takes.
Oh,
that Batman take. Wow.
I'm getting you out of here, Your Honor. Get out of here. I'm kicking you out.
There we go. Yeah, Gager, we'll see you in the office later on today.
Yeah,
there you go. Look at Gager. Disappears just like that. All right. Scalding hot take champion for
big
the week.
win.
He's scared of
Thank you, Claiborne Services.
Man, the account is flush.
The account
got
is
the
flush. This is a great week. Got the haircut. Things are
Okay,
all
Huss.
high and tight
Yeah.
around Dusty's world. I also have one more Trev take. Trev, this would have been one of my overtime takes.
Yeah. Get it over with.
The Oilers' start to the season is so confusing that Trev wants to run through the middle of it and get banned forever.
Yeah.
A corn-based take. Right? You like that one?
Oh, that's good,
Yeah,
man.
that was,
They just all came together so nice.
Yeah.
Unlike my supper.
I also had this one today. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is invisible to start the season because he's fully buying into his Halloween costume idea. Kevin Bacon in Hollow Man. Yeah, because he's invisible in Hollow Man.
Yeah.
Except you can see his
Yes.
invisible junk floating around. Hey, by the way, horrible take on The Dark Knight.
So bad.
How is The Dark Knight a bad
Every
movie?
time I watch it, I fall asleep. Like it just nothing about it is entertaining. The only
You don't
thing good
think
about
Heath
it is
Ledger's
Heath Ledger.
okay.
Yeah, the only thing. Yeah, I'll give Heath Ledger some credit. He played that better than anyone. No one's going to do it. Joaquin Phoenix was amazing, but no, Heath Ledger was like literally
He was very
the
good
Joker.
at that. I've never heard anybody say they didn't like The Dark Knight.
I'm blown
Hot take?
away. People say
Hot
that
take?
it's the best like comic movie of all time. I don't like it. It's boring to me. It really is.
All right, let's get into the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours, team at William Huff will get it done. They've been doing business since 1952. WilliamHuff.com.
You get those pull-ups?
Well, so this is amazing. So yesterday, both of our pull-ups had kind of been snapped a little bit. Our big wall had kind of cracked. Maddie takes it over, or Tommy takes it over yesterday to Bruce at William Huff. Bruce himself fixes them for us. The guy who runs the business was fixing our stuff.
Rolls his sleeves up, gets in there.
The best in the biz. WilliamHuff.com. All right, what did we learn on the show today?
I learned that Reid Wilkins is quite a good amateur chef, I guess, and he makes a dish, a meat, ham, and hard-boiled egg loaf. I'd give it a shot, wouldn't you? I know your palate isn't that like you
well,
kind of
ham, beef, and I'd try that.
You'd eat around the egg. Yeah.
I would try that. I learned today that what the recipe for paper mache is.
And not that complicated. I think we all had thoughts of maybe.
I didn't realize that's all we did to make
it
sticky.
Yeah.
Flour and water.
And
the newspaper.
Let it set in the fridge.
Do you think it's the ink from the newspaper that's being drawn out by the flour
Some
and
people
water
had
that
some
makes it sticky?
Theories and the grayness too.
That could
color.
that could be it. All right, let's get to your sound of the day today. The first 12 seconds of John T's new song.
Turn your headlights on. Turn your headlights on when you're on.
That's it right there. Sorry, Atif. Rest of it's just not going to work. But that's your sound of the day. Text of the day today. Can we find the text from Super Mario? I wrote down Super Mario earlier in the show. That's something else that many of you would have learned on the show today.
Some great text today,
I have raised the next Michael Phelps, and I didn't even know it. Marshall got into his length swimming class yesterday, torched the field, and now I'm going to buy him a Speedo and a speed cap, and he's going to drop out of school, and he's going to focus on swimming full-time.
Keep skating.
Just like in that movie Blades of Glory, but with skating and Jimmy McElroy.
And the swim cap, the speed, the whole here.
The Speedo, everything, yeah.
Super Mario, here it is, 7:26 this morning. The hunt for Red October, more like the hunt for Marshall Nielsen. They can't catch him.
They can't catch him. The hunt
Can't
for
even
Marshall
detect him,
Nielsen.
you know? Yeah.
That
Love
is
it.
your text. You're going to win a gift certificate to A&W, where they right now have 2 Mama Burgers for only $9.99. 2 delicious, mouth-watering Mama Burgers for just $9.99 at participating A&W restaurants in Edmonton, St. Albert, Sherwood Park, and Devon, but apparently not Lloyd. And they also have this deal because it's game day today for the Orange and Blue. Fantastic deal. Mama Burger and fries, $5. Treat for the office. Mama Burger and fries.
I think that's what the Godfather
$5
brought in
Is
there.
that the Godfather? Brought?
He had a sack.
Is the Godfather on the Hangout? The Godfather brought in the sausage and eggers.
That new cap, the conches.
Oh, that's a nice hat. Where'd you get that thing? That's nice looking.
Stream's gone.
Stream's gone. Oh, stream's back.
Stream's
Perfect.
back.
All right, we got the Hangout coming up. I'll be back with the Lock Shop at 11. What are we watching tonight? We're watching the Oilers and the Preds. GCL Diesel pregame show actually gets started at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Postgame to follow as well. Tommy Gazzola will be at Hudson's tonight. Hudson's on White. If you want to swing on by and watch the game, see Tommy there. I know the EST taking over the city. That's going to do it for the show today. Have a great day. Take it easy.